Chapter 50. Big Bad Guy. Tell me, what's your ability? Guopai waited in Ren Schwanz's restaurant for a while before Tang, Shi, and the others walked in together. There were more people this time, so Nangong Lingma and Lin Shuang followed them in. Nangong Lingma saw Guopai and started talking. What ability? What are you talking about? Lin Shuang looked at Guopai and Nangong Lingma and asked, Big Bad Guy, you have to tell me clearly later. Otherwise, I'll report you to the One Fight Committee, Nangong Lingma said to Guopai. Sit down, let's eat first, Guopai said with a smile. I'll treat you guys to this meal. The three of you have represented our class and performed very well. As the form teacher, I'm proud, Lin Shuang said with a smile as she looked at Murong Weiwei, Guopai, and Xian Duo. Teacher Lin, we don't have to pay to eat at 6th Master's Restaurant, Su Yi said with a smile. Your class is really good. Weiwei and the other two have a chance to enter the competition. Aren't the three of you almost qualified for the competition? Lin Shuang said with a smile. Ren Schwanza personally served the dishes. The combination of meat and vegetables was reasonable. Of course, Wuxiao didn't forget to offer a toast to 6th Master Ren. The old man received it with a smile and walked out leisurely. Big Bad Guy, no, Brother Bad Guy, I want a drink. Give me some more. It was Nangong Lingma's first time drinking this kind of wine. She only knew what good wine was after drinking it. This wine was the best thing she had ever tasted. Hello, Lingling, what's the matter? Lin Shuang asked with a smile when she received Sun Lingling's call. Yes, except for Zhao Xian, everyone else is here. Okay, I understand. You haven't eaten yet, right? Come to 6th Master Ren's private restaurant for a meal, Lin Shuang said with a smile. It's so lively here. Everyone's here. There's a rumor on the forum that Guopai has monopolized the four beauties. Looks like it's true. After a while, Sun Ling pushed open the door and walked into the room. Cough, cough, cough. Senior Sister Ling, don't tell me you've also taken a fancy to me, bad guy. He has enough women around him. You can consider me, Qian Duo said with a smile. Student Qian Duo, I remember that you have a good relationship with Year 2's Ushi. Could it be that you've fallen in love with the new and abandoned the old? Sun Ling said with a smile. Gossip, absolute gossip. Qian Duo said seriously. It's no wonder. Celebrities who don't have any scandals aren't celebrities. However, Senior Lingling, you're an exception. You didn't have a boyfriend in your 3 years of high school. Is there something wrong with your hobbies? You're also a student? Guopai handed Sun Lingling a glass of wine and asked with a trace of doubt. Year 3, Class 1, Sun Ling. Let's get to know each other. Number 1 in affiliated high. Hee hee. Sun Ling took the wine glass and stretched out her small hand. Guopai didn't hold back and grabbed it. Cough, cough, cough. Big Bad Guy, you can let go now. Can't you see that Xiao Shi is angry? Su Yi said loudly when she saw that the two of them had been shaking hands for a few seconds and had no intention of letting go. Little Yi Zi, you don't know this. The big bad guy you're talking about isn't taking advantage of Ling. He's taking her pulse. Do you understand? Lin Shuang said with a smile. Murong Weiwei's face turned red. Qian Duo couldn't help but laugh. Then, everyone laughed. Sun Ling also saw on the forum that Guopai was holding Murong Weiwei's hand. Her face turned red. Teacher Lin, you even know this. I'll take your pulse in a while. Guopai didn't care about everyone's gaze. He still didn't let go and looked at Sun Ling with a serious face. Beautiful senior, you're really sick. I'll help you recuperate after dinner. Then, Student Guopai, tell me what's wrong with me. If you tell me, I don't mind asking you to be my dance partner and temporary boyfriend at the graduation ceremony. Sun Ling looked at Guopai and said with a smile. Beautiful senior, are you sure you want me to tell you now? Guopai looked at Sun Ling with a smile. Although her looks weren't as good as Murong Weiwei's, she was on the same level as Tang Shi and Su Yi. Most importantly, her figure seemed to be hotter than Su Ye's. The ancients used painful lessons to teach us that we shouldn't hide our illness for fear of treatment. If there's anything, just say it. Sun Ling said with a smile. Although she said that, she was still a little worried. Could this big bad guy really say something? Beautiful senior, don't you need to take a few days off in a few days? Guopai looked at Sun Ling and said with a smirk, "That's not right. If you drink this glass of wine, you shouldn't need to take a leave." "What did you say? Could it be that you really saw through me?" Sun Ling Ling stood up suddenly. It had been 6 years since she was 12 years old. Every month, she had to take a few days off because of the pain. Only a few people in her family and her personal doctor knew about this. Guopai couldn't possibly know. "Try my wine first," Guopai said with a smile. "Don't worry about your body. This wine is hot. It's just right for your illness. Guopai, I hope you're telling the truth. If there's any problem, I'll blame you." After saying that, Sun Ling Ling picked up the wine glass and drank it in one gulp. She didn't know how long it had been since she drank something cold. The moment the wine entered her stomach, a wave of heat spread out from her abdomen. That kind of comfort was something she hadn't experienced in the past 6 years. "Senior Ling Ling, how is it?" Guopai said with a smirk as he looked at Sun Ling Ling's intoxicated face. "Xiao Shi, Yu Wei Wei, don't you guys care about him?" Look at his lustful expression. Su Yi tugged at Tang Shi's clothes and said, "You should care about him. Aren't you his fourth wife? Didn't you agree that day?" Tang Shi looked at Su Yi and said with a smile, "Xiao Shi, what are you talking about? It's fine if you don't care." After saying that, Su Yi lowered her head and glanced at Guo Pai guiltily. At this moment, Guo Pai was looking at her. "Ling Ling, are you okay?" Lin Shuang asked softly as she looked at Sun Ling Ling nervously. She knew a little about Sun Ling Ling's body. "Teacher Lin, I'm fine." Sun Ling Ling took a deep breath and said, "The principal told me the list of names for the competition. Qian Duo, Wei Wei, Tang Shi, Ling Mo, Yu, Guopai. The 6 of you have all entered the competition. Sister Ling Ling, what about me? Didn't I enter the competition?" Su Yi looked at Sun Ling Ling expectantly and asked. "There's also Zhao Xian from Class 10. Xiao Yi, you're just a little short," Sun Ling Ling said with a smile. Wah. All of you could participate in the competition. I didn't enter. I studied for so long and still didn't enter. Woo. Su Yi cried loudly. "It's all your fault, Big Baddie. If you didn't transfer schools, I would have entered the competition. It's all your fault. Why did you participate in the preliminaries? You've stolen all the limelight. You have to compensate me." "You're blaming me? Then I'll compensate you. Tell me, do you want to kiss the left or the right?" Guopai looked at Su Yi and said with a smirk, "Xiao Yi, drink. Drink more and you'll be happy." After saying that, Su Ye's glass was filled again. This is more like it." Su Yi smiled through her tears. She picked up the glass and drank slowly, afraid that someone would snatch it away. Chapter 51. Guopai, can you pour me another glass? After Sun Ling Ling drank that glass of wine, she didn't dare to look at Guopai. This boy in front of her, who was a few years younger than her, actually knew about her hidden illness. More importantly, before she met this guy, none of the rumors about him in Wu Castle were positive. You can't believe all the rumors in the underworld. I don't know if the beautiful senior's words just now still count. Guopai said with a smile as he poured the wine. "It counts. As long as you're not afraid of your girlfriends getting jealous, I'll invite you to be my dance partner on the day of the graduation ceremony." Sun Ling Ling said with a smile. I'll be waiting for your invitation then. If you want to completely cure your illness, contact me in 3 days." Guopai said with a smile. "Bad guy, big brother, can you really cure Senior Ling Ling's illness?" Murong Wei Wei pulled Guopai and said softly, "Don't worry, that's just a small problem. Let's eat. The dishes that Master Lu served today are really good," Guopai said as he picked up some food for the girls. Everyone started chatting again. "Bad guy, look, what did this photographer take? I'm so handsome. How could he take such a photo? I'll go find him." After they finished eating, they took a photo together. Zhao Xian was very talkative, so Guopai had a good impression of him. "Brother Duo, you should be satisfied that they took such a photo of you." Shuedazhu stood behind Qian Duo and said with a smile as he looked at the computer, "Look at Bad Guy, the idol of the affiliated high school. Look how handsome he is. Damn, his fans have exceeded 3,000. Bad Guy's popularity is really good." Qian Duo said loudly. "Bad Guy, come and see. It's the 7-school alliance. If we can get first place in the literature battle, we'll be awesome." Haha. Guopao walked in from the balcony and took off his clothes. His muscles were exposed without any excess fat. Duo, what's 7 school alliance? Guopai asked with a smile. The other 7 schools in the One Battle finals have teamed up. This time, the One Battle will be between our number 1 high school and the combined team of the 7 schools, Qian Duo said with a smile. Now that we're in the main competition, we can take a break. Help me apply for leave. I need to go to school to get something done, Guopai said with a smile. Young master, the Slythorn Alliance has replied. They have offered a price to assassinate Guopai. An old man said to Qin Yulong, since the price has been given, then hurry up and do it. We must kill that guy before the main competition. I want him dead. Qin Yulong roared. After the preliminaries ended, Qin Yulong became the most famous person apart from the 7 people in the main competition. He ran naked in his underwear and made a sky-high bet. The old master of the Qin family was hospitalized. He even announced to the public that he had kicked Qin Yulong out of the Qin family and that everything that happened in the future would have nothing to do with the Qin family. Young master, the Slythorn Alliance is offering 10 billion. This price shows that they are not prepared to accept this deal. The old man from the Qin clan said softly. Pa! With a sound, Qin Yulong smashed the teacup in his hand into pieces. Then, he smashed the computer that he was playing on. 10 billion. Killing a student requires 10 billion. I remember that the old master spent less than 10 million to assassinate a business rival. But that Lu Chuang you mentioned just now offered 10 million. The old man from the Qin clan said softly, give them 10 million. Kill that kid from the Lu family first. I'll deal with Guopai myself. Qin Yulong said fiercely. Brother Wei, this is the leave slip. I need to go out for a while. At the entrance of the security department, Guopai greeted Li Wei. Brother, you're amazing. We've all watched the video of the preliminaries. You're amazing, Li Wei said excitedly as if he had met a celebrity. Brother Wei, I have to go early and come back early. Do you need me to bring you anything? Guopai asked with a smile. No. When you come back, Xiao Long and I will treat you to a meal. You have to do us the honor. Li Wei opened the door for Guopai with a smile. Guopai walked out with a smile. Young master, that Guopai you mentioned just left the school. The old man from the Qin clan saw Guopai the moment he walked out and quickly called Qin Yulong. Even God is helping me. Okay, Uncle Kuei, you don't have to worry about it. Qin Yulong said fiercely. Young man, it's you again. Guopai had just gotten on the bus when he saw the driver. What a coincidence. It was the same bus driver from the first day he came to the affiliated high school. Uncle, you don't have to say anything. I'm going to pay. After saying that, Guopai ran to the back of the bus and sat down. Young man, it's not holiday time yet. What are you going to do? There was no one else in the bus. The driver looked at Guopai through the rearview mirror and asked, Uncle, I'm going to the city. You can drop me off at a place where I can buy Chinese medicine. I'm not feeling well. The doctor gave me a prescription. I'm going to get some medicine. Guopai said with a smile. Oh, I see. Then you have to take care of your body. In this society, if you have something, you'll be sick. If you don't have something, you'll be poor. Look at me. I drive back and forth every day. 15,000 words omitted. Young man, get off here and walk straight in. There are a few big pharmacies that sell Chinese medicine, but you'd better find someone who knows Chinese medicine to follow you. There are a lot of fake medicine nowadays. The driver didn't stop talking along the way. Guopao finally made it to Xinzhong Street. Sigh, the things left by our ancestors have changed. Diseases that could be cured with 1 dose of medicine in the past, with the current efficacy, I'm afraid it's difficult to cure without 8 or 10 doses. Guopai walked to the front of pharmacy. Although there was a strong fragrance of medicine, he knew that the efficacy of these medicines was far inferior to that of the Tang dynasty when he took a deep breath, let alone in the sky. Wanzi, there's a handsome guy. Hurry up and serve him. Xinzhong Pharmacy had both Chinese and Western medicine. There were more than a dozen attendants, all of whom were graduates of Takashi University's medical college. Hello, is there anything I can help you with? Wanzi was pushed to the front of Guopai by the girl behind her. She then asked in a low voice, Antler glue, turtle shell, oyster, mulberry fruit, ginseng, astragalus root, angelica, white peony, Chinese asparagus, licorice Rehmannia, cooked Rehmannia, ligusticum chuanxiong, silver buplurum, salvia militariza, yam, gorgon fruit, and antler frost. Do you have all of them here? Guopai looked at the girl in front of him, who was quite pleasing to the eye, and said with a smile, "Handsome, you speak so fast. Who can remember it? Speak slowly. But if these medicines are combined together, they seem to be used to treat women's diseases." Wanzi didn't say anything. Cough, cough, cough. Give me some cordyceps, wolfberries, and so on. Guopai said with a black face, "Handsome, you don't look like a college student. May I know what you want to do with these Chinese medicine?" The girl continued to ask, "Beauty, are you selling medicine or investigating my household registration? The medicines I want to buy are not prohibited by the state. If you have them, I will buy them. If you don't, I will go to other places." Guopai said loudly, "Yes, of course. If our pharmacy doesn't have them, then other pharmacies in Wu Castle City won't have them. Just wait." Wanzi said hurriedly, "You have angelica and ginseng. Let me check the goods first." Guopai took another breath. Could the Chinese medicine here still have any efficacy? Chapter 52. Please wait a moment. Wanzi put on a pair of white gloves and took a box from the shelf. She placed it in front of Guopai. "Take a look. This is the latest batch of ginseng that just arrived. Ginseng, ginseng, mountain ginseng, ginseng. Wrap these ginseng up for me and take the rest." Guopai picked out 18 mountain ginseng and placed them in front of Wanzi. "As for the rest of the herbs, pack them up for me and count them together." Little Yu, wait a moment. Just as Wanzi was retrieving the medicine for Guopao, a middle-aged man in his 50s walked out from inside. "Hello, manager." All the waiters greeted the old man respectfully. "Go ahead and do what you need to do," the old man said with a smile. "Little Yu, do you have time? Let's sit inside. There are a few wild ginseng here that I want to show to Little Yu. I hope you won't disappoint me." Guopai walked into the room. "Wanzi, bring a pot of good tea," the old man said with a smile. "Yao Mian, sure." The old man handed Guopai his business card. "This pharmacy belongs to the Sure family. There are 137 pharmacies like this in China. Guopai, student of Wu Castle Affiliated High School. Why don't you show me the wild ginseng you mentioned just now?" Guopai squinted and said, "Okay, Little Yu, wait a moment." Yao Mian Sure took out a big wooden box from the shelf. There were 7 wooden boxes in a row. "Shopkeeper Sure, if these are the wild ginseng you're talking about, then I'll have to trouble you to put them away. I'm afraid that the medicinal efficacy of these ginseng isn't as good as the moving mountain ginseng that I've chosen." Guopao narrowed his eyes and said, "Haha, I don't know where Little Yu is from. You have sharp eyes. I like it. Please wait a moment." Yao Mian took out another wooden box like the one before and placed it in front of Guopai. "Give me a price. Something like this is more or less worthy of such a big store." Guopai took a deep breath and could feel that there was a 120-year-old wild ginseng in a box. "I don't know why Little Yu is buying these herbs, but can you tell me? This ginseng is used to save lives. If Little Yu needs it, you can give it to Little Yu." Medicine Stone forced a smile. "Shopkeeper Sure, this is a small toy that my master made some time ago. It's not very useful, but it's good for removing spots on women's bodies." With that, Guopai took out a wooden box and handed it to Sure Yao Mian. "I'll take this ginseng, and I won't pay for the medicinal herbs outside. I'll come again on the 1st of next month. If you have something that can satisfy me, I'll give you something that you'll be satisfied with." Sure Yao Mian gently opened the wooden box, and an aroma assailed his nostrils. He felt as if he had been doused with cold water, and he shivered. The blood blister on the corner of his mouth disappeared immediately. This young man is from an ancient martial arts family. He must be. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to take out such a thing. "No, I have to contact the family head." Sure Yao Mian looked at Wanzi, who was walking in, and wanted to say something. "Let him take whatever he wants in the store. Give it all to him. After that, you guys go out and find a car to deliver it to the place he wants. Remember, take good care of this young master." Sure Yao Mian said loudly, "Beauty, thank you for your help. You have a lung problem, and that Beauty should have a migraine. As for that sister, if she still loses her temper often, she needs to have her spleen checked. I didn't bring any medicine today, so I'll treat your spleen the next time I come. Haha. With that, Guopai walked towards the door. Then what about me? The female shop assistant who had been joking with Guopai asked softly. You're fine. Pay attention to your bedroom. You're still young, so you can't do it every day. After saying that, Guo scoundrel got into the car, leaving the laughing shop assistant and the blushing girl in the shop. Don't worry, family head. I'll send the things to you immediately. Sure Yao Mian said respectfully into the phone. Guopai asked the car to drive the things he had bought to the side of an old house, and directly asked the driver to unload them. As soon as the driver left, everything on the ground disappeared. Although Lao Juan's gourd couldn't be opened, the gourd in his hand wasn't bad at all. Guopai, this is the house your late father bought when he was alive. Your father only told you about it, and didn't even tell the old man. I'm really lucky. Guopai mumbled to himself, and used his fingerprint to open the door. This place is mine from now on. Sun Lingling's illness is easy to treat, but for Brother Wei Wei's illness, I have to find time to take a look at him. In the basement of the old house, Guopai took out a small medicinal cauldron and threw in the medicinal herbs he had bought time and time again. In about a day's time, he had refined more than 10 pills and placed them into jade boxes. Life in this world isn't like what I thought. It's not as good as the Tang dynasty. Before Brother cultivated, he could also drink wine with prostitutes. Guopai thought to himself. Boom, boom, boom. A muffled thunder sounded in his ears. Amateus, damn it. I'm not a god anymore. Why do you keep scaring me with thunder? Guopai whispered. I've been in this world for 100 years, and I'm not allowed to have sex. Even the Jade Emperor can't care so much. After a sleepless night, Guopai's method of dealing with the 120-year-old ginseng was very simple. He swallowed it directly. Although the taste was not good, the effect was not bad. After a night, his immortal power had recovered by about 70% to 80%. The medicinal effect of the ginseng that was not completely absorbed was stored in his dantian. It's time to go back. Sun Ling Ling, wait for brother. Brother will cure your illness. Don't you want to repay me with your body? Guopai mumbled to himself and walked out of the big house. Young master, Guopai has already walked out of Goose City Street. Should we continue to follow him, or what? A youth in black whispered into the phone. I'll go and meet him first. Before I die, I have to see what kind of person this brat is. Qin Yulong said fiercely. Guopai. After about 10 minutes, Guopai walked to Wu Castle. On the way, he suddenly heard someone calling out to him. My name is Lu Chuang. You might not know me, but I know you. I'm also a student of Fuzhong High. You helped me win a lot of money in the preliminaries. Let's be friends. A youth in Adidas walked in front of him and extended his right hand. It's not the holidays yet. Why did you come out of school? Guopai looked at the youth in front of him and asked with a smile. Aren't you also outside the school? Lu Chuang did not answer and said with a smile. Then the two of them laughed together. I heard that you came out of school, so I came out to look for you. I have to remind you that Qin Yulong might do something to you. You bet $1 million on the forum. If Fu Zhonghai wins, Qin Yulong will have to pay 100 billion. Even if he sells the Qin family, he won't be able to take out that much money. You must be careful, Lu Chuang said softly. No wonder my eyelids have been twitching recently. Thank you, Guopai said with a smile. Guopai, Lu Chuang, how are you guys? Just as the two of them were talking, a voice sounded in their ears. Qin Yulong walked over from not far away. Chapter 53. Oh, isn't this the famous student Qin Yulong from our affiliated high school? Lu Chuang said with a smile. He's wearing clothes today. Lu Chuang, I was wondering why you were so powerful. So it turns out that you're following the fourth master of the four pests of Martial City. You guys continue chatting. I'm leaving. When Qin Yulong walked past them, the corners of his eyes unnaturally revealed a trace of ruthlessness. Just you wait. You're all going to die today. I'm going to watch your head explode with bullets. It's worth 10 million to let me see your head explode. Guopai used his mind-reading ability on Qin Yulong and directly found out his thoughts. Brother Lu, let's go back to school together. Let's have a meal together. I have to thank you properly. Guopai originally wanted to go back first, but now he had to help Lu Chuang. I have something to do. You go back first. I'll find you when I get back. Lu Chuang smiled and declined politely. Be careful. There's a killer after you. It should be a sniper rifle. Guo Pai whispered in Lu Chuang's ear the moment he turned around. Qin Yulong, I'm going to see how the killer kills me. Lu Chuang didn't look back at Guo Pai and directly got into his car. Third uncle, someone wants to kill me. I want to know who it is. Let's go back the way we came. Show me the place where it's convenient to snipe. I'll go out and lure the snake out. Lu Chuang said fiercely after he got in the car. Young master, you can't take this risk. The driver smiled and said, Xiao Fei, get off the car from the back door in front of the World Trade Building. After you get off the car, say 1, 2, 3, and then directly dodge. Whether you can survive or not depends on your luck. Third uncle, I can't die yet. There's only one chance. You have to see who fired the gun. A young man in the back who was wearing the same clothes as Lu Chuang said with a smile, Young master, you have to help me get that bottle of old wine in the old master's cabinet. Brother Fei, you must be careful. Let's drink together tonight. Lu Chuang said softly. Bang! The bullet grazed Lu Fei's hat and hit the curbstone. Then there was a second shot, and the sniper could no longer see the black figure. Sly Sting Alliance, Fox, third uncle said with a smile. He's no match for you in close combat, but be careful. I'll have little Fei help you in the dark. After third uncle finished speaking, Lu Chuang jumped out of the car and disappeared into the crowd. He dodged it. He actually dodged it. What the hell? Qin Yulong directly smashed the binoculars in his hand on the 13th floor of the World Trade Center and said loudly, He's not a student at all. He's a tough guy. I'm not his opponent in a one-on-one fight. I'm leaving. I'll find another chance to kill him. I'll refund you 5 million of your 10 million later, but I won't let you follow me next time. After saying that, a young man in his 30s put away his sniper rifle. Hello, Fox. I never thought that my head would be worth so little. As the two of them were talking, the door suddenly opened. Bang, bang, bang. Fox took out his own pistol and fired 3 shots at Lu Chuang, but Lu Chuang dodged all of them. Mission failed. Not only did you run away immediately, you even chatted with this stupid employer. You're a disgrace to the Sly Sting Alliance. Lu Chuang jumped and pushed Fox to the ground. He directly took Fox's gun. Bang! I hate it when people snipe me. Fox's eyes widened. There was a thumb-sized hole on his head. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. Qin Yulong said with his whole body trembling. His body was wet. How can I bear to kill you? You still owe Brother Guo Pai 100 billion. Ha! After saying that, Lu Chuang walked out of the room, leaving a corpse and a terrified Qin Yulong. I've taken care of all the videos in the building. Lu Fei said with a smile. There are fingerprints on the gun. I don't want the reward from the Security Bureau. The Sly Sting Alliance should be more restrained. Sigh, it's only 10 million. My life is so worthless. Lu Chuang sighed. The instructor said that Brother Yao's head is worth 100 million in US dollars. Comparisons are odious. If Lu Chuang's words were heard by Li Yao, who was being chased by more than 100 people in the United States, he would probably vomit blood. F***CK. There's a mistake in the information. When I return alive, I'll skin you people from the Security Bureau alive. Li Yao ran around the city of Detroit in a sorry state. It was as if his body was being tracked. No matter how he disguised himself, the people from the Detroit Mafia could always find him. I'm not going to hide anymore. I'll kill whoever comes. I like to see how many heads the people who want to kill me, Li Yao, have. According to the operation plan, Li Yao was to rescue a Chinese American in a car dealership in Detroit. This person had some technology that could make up for the country's shortcomings. It was supposed to be an easy mission. However, ever since Li Yao entered the United States, he had not stopped for a moment. First, he had to deal with the American police. Then, he had to deal with the FBI. When he finally got them all done, the person who contacted him died mysteriously. Now, he was being chased by a group of local mafia. Bang! 800 meters away, the leader of the mafia who had been commanding the chase of Li Yao was shot in the head by Li Yao. If I can't do it, I'll escape to the embassy first. Li Yao said to himself, F***CK. F***CK. Are these people crazy? Before Liao could stand firm, he heard the voice that the instructor had been telling him in his ear. Once this kind of sound appeared, he had to immediately find cover, reduce the contact area of his body as much as possible, and open his mouth to minimize the sound wave damage as much as possible. Boom! With a sound, a F*CK directly hit a place less than 5 meters away from Liao. In an underground garage, there was no suitable cover. Liao held his breath and exhaled. There was a buzzing sound in his head. F*CK, it's over. I can't let them catch me. I'm going to die here. Liao said to himself, Big brother, I have a bad feeling. You will be in danger when you go to the United States this time. Take this, it will save your life. Liao once again heard the words that Guo Pai said before he came to the United States. F*CK, OLC was right. I have that F*King Jade box with me. Ol C, I hope he didn't lie to me this time. Catch him alive. The F*CK didn't hit him, but he has no fighting power left. Go and catch him alive. A big man from the American Mafia shouted. OLC, I hope this F*King pill of yours works. Liao shouted and put the pill in the jade box directly into his mouth. Instantly, a warm feeling spread throughout his body. OLC, when I come back to the country, you can go anywhere you want. I will take you to the military region to shoot as many guns as you want. I will also give you that brother Shah and you have your eyes on. F*CK, this pill is too powerful. A bunch of B** starts, if I can't die, then you can all die. Liao glanced at the people who had rushed to about 100 meters away from him. He immediately picked up the M4 that he bought from the black market and started shooting at them. Black Tiger, that Chinese man is not injured. Brothers, get down. A short black man in the crowd had just shouted when he was shot in the forehead. He couldn't be more dead. Chapter 54. Detroit Smith family, just you wait. I will be back. After killing more than 40 gang members, Liao let out a loud roar and jumped into a river. Shit, search along the river. We must find that Chinese man. A white man shouted. Brother Yao took the elixir. Did he really encounter danger in the U.S.? Let me see if Brother Yao is okay. Guo Pai, who had already returned to his dorm, felt his heart tremble. The trace of divine sense he had placed on the elixir disappeared. He knew that Liao was in trouble. That's good. When Liao comes back, we have to let him bleed a little. Then we can go to Wu Castle. Ha! Guo Pai said with a laugh. Bad guy. When are you going to Wu Castle? Take me with you. Qian Duo looked at Guo Pai with a wretched face. When the time comes, I will call you. Take Zhu Zi with you. Ha! Guo Pai said with a laugh. I will call Sun Ling, brother. I spent a lot of effort to cure her illness. Will she repay me with her body? Bad guy. Other people will die in the end when they have a foot in 2 boats. You are with so many sisters-in-law. What is your secret? When will you teach me? Qian Duo asked with a smile. Brother, you have the 6 meridians divine sword in your left hand and the 9 yang divine art in your right hand. When you use both hands, you can use the 18 dragon subduing palms. I also know how to use both hands. Guo Pai said with a smile. Hello, Sister Ling. Do you miss me? If you miss me, call me brother. Guo Pai dialed a number and said with a smile. Ling, a boy. No, a shameless boy is asking if you miss him. Are you going to answer the phone? A girl with a sweet voice shouted from the other side of the phone. Tell him to wait. I'll be right there. Sun Ling said excitedly. She had been waiting for this call for a long time. Although she would always receive calls looking for her, the only person who would be so shameless as to directly ask her if she missed him was Guo Pai. Sister, so you like this kind of straightforward guy? A good-looking girl handed the phone to Sun Ling and whispered, Yes, Xiaoro, this guy is good. Why don't I introduce you to him? Sun Ling took the phone and said jokingly, Forget it, I still prefer those guys who are cultured, like that Guo Pai from the first year of high school. Shunbai Rose said with a smile, You'll regret it. Sun Ling blinked and said, Guo Pai, why are you looking for me? I really do miss you. Where have you been these 2 days? I was busy with Sister Ling's matter. What else could I be doing? Guo Pai said with a smile. When are you free? Come out. I'll help you recuperate. Where are you now? I'll go find you. Sun Ling Ling said excitedly after hearing Guo Pai's words. Go to Takashi University's hotel and get a room. Wait for me there. I'll be there in a while. Here's a change of clothes. Guo Pai said with a smile. Okay, I'll tell you the room number after I get a room. Sun Ling Ling said with a red face. Sister Ling Ling, what are you guys doing? So you really like to be straightforward like this? Is it really Guo Pai on the other side of the phone? Shinbai Ro was completely shocked after hearing the conversation between Sun Ling Ling and Guo Pai. Bad guy no, bad grandpa, please teach me. I've been friends with Hu Shi for almost a year, and we've only held hands. Bad grandpa only met Sister Ling Ling once and immediately got a room. The most beastly thing is that you actually made Sister Ling Ling wait for you in a room. How did you do it? Teach me. Chin Duo almost knelt down and asked loudly. If you have any needs, just say it. If you don't say it, how would she know what you need? How would she satisfy you? Guo Pai said with a smile. Chin Duo, let me tell you, if you still dare to follow me this time, you're dead. After saying that, Guo Pai walked out of the dormitory and headed towards Takashi University's hotel. Little Shi, today's weather is pretty good. Why don't you go to Takashi University's hotel and get a room and we can talk about life? Seeing Guo Pai leave, Chin Duo couldn't help but call Hu Shi and whisper. Going to a hotel is too much of a waste of money. Come to my house. There's no one at home. The other side of the phone whispered with a hint of shyness. Little Shi, what you said is true. Okay, wait for me. I'll be there in about half an hour. Wait for me. Chin Duo said loudly and hung up the phone. Believe in bad grandpa and you'll live forever. Sister Ling Ling, you really want to go? Shinbai Ro saw Sun Ling Ling pick up a set of clothes and was preparing to go out. She stopped her at the door. Sister, you have to think carefully. Do you really like him? Little girl, are you jealous? I already said that I would introduce him to you, but you didn't agree. Sun Ling Ling said with a smile. Why don't you come along? I don't mind having one more person. You're so pretty. I think Guo Pai wouldn't mind either. Ha! After speaking, Sun Ling Ling walked out of the dorm. Only Shinbai Ro, who had already been struck by lightning several times, was left standing there motionlessly. Crazy, Sister Ling Ling has gone crazy. After half a day, Shinbai Ro softly said, Student Guo Pai, the room is ready. 608, I'm already here. Sun Ling Ling dialed Guo Pai's phone and whispered with a red face. Could he be lying to me? How can I believe him like this? What if he has ill intentions towards me? What should I do? At this time, Sun Ling Ling's heart suddenly became nervous. Dong, senior sister, I'm here. Open the door. Guo Pai said with a smile. This room is not bad. Wait a moment, I'm so tired recently. Let me take a shower first. After speaking, Guo Pai didn't care about Sun Ling Ling anymore and directly walked into the bathroom. Following that, the bathroom was filled with hua sounds. Scoundrel, big scoundrel. If you don't treat me later, I'll directly call the police. No, I have an anti-pervert stun baton on me. I'll directly knock you out. Sun Ling Ling secretly said in her heart. What are you looking at? Take off your clothes. If you don't take off your clothes, how can you treat me? After about 15 minutes, Guo Pai walked out of the bathroom fully dressed. He looked at Sun Ling Ling and said with a mischievous smile, Do I still need to take off my clothes? Sun Ling Ling said while biting her lips. Don't hide your illness for fear of treatment. I'm now a doctor, and you're my patient. Don't think about anything else. Take off your clothes. Guo Pai said loudly. Sun Ling Ling carefully untied her coat and took it off. When she was about to untie her belt with a flushed face, student Guo Pai spoke. Sister, just take off your coat. If you still want to take it off, I don't mind. Guo Pai looked at Sun Ling Ling's perky breasts lecherously and said with a smile, If little brother wants to see, then I'll take off another one. Sun Ling Ling looked at Guo Pai and said, Cough, cough, cough. Seductress, you are a seductress. If a seductress like you was met by a great sage, he would definitely be beaten by a stick. Guo Pai's eyes quickly left Sun Ling Ling's body. He was really afraid that he couldn't control himself. Who is a seductress? You big scoundrel. How should I treat my illness? Tell me. Sun Ling Ling whispered. Chapter 55. Take some medicine first to stimulate your body. As he spoke, Guopao handed Sun Ling Ling a rather exquisite wooden box. What? You don't trust me? Guopai asked with a smile as he saw Sun Ling Ling staring at the medicine in the box. Wu Castle had all the four evils. Sun Ling Ling looked at Guopai's smirk and felt a little worried. Guopai, you should have heard of the Sun family in Beijing. Some jokes can't be made. Sun Ling Ling said softly. If you don't trust me, then forget it. Come find me when you understand. Guopai waved his hand, and the wooden box in Sun Ling Ling's hand returned to Guopai's hand. A trace of disappointment appeared on Guopai's face. Who said I don't trust you? If I didn't trust you, would I dare to stay in a room and wait for you? Sun Ling Ling said sadly. Give it to me, I'll take it. Without waiting for Guopai's response, she grabbed the wooden box and put a fragrant pill into her mouth. Drink some of this. It will hurt a little later. Bear with it. The longer you endure, the better the effect of the medicine. Guopai smiled and nodded. After about a minute, Sun Ling Ling screamed, and the entire Takashi University Hotel was in chaos. Listen to her voice and look at you. Can't you shout? A naked man said to the woman on the bed. She shouted so happily because her man helped her. Why don't you look at yourself and blame me? The woman said angrily. If you say I can't do it, then let's do it again. With that, the man pushed the woman aside again and started the most primitive work. It seems to be from 608. Isn't that Sun Ling Ling from the affiliated high school? High school students are so open now. Two waiters in the hotel whispered. Don't speak carelessly. If you reveal the customer's privacy, there will be big problems. Sun Ling Ling is from the Sun family in the capital. You won't even know how you died when the time comes, another waiter whispered. Guopai looked at Sun Ling Ling, who was about to faint from the pain, and gently shook his head. If he had known this would happen, he would have added some medicine to relieve the pain. Guopai thought for a moment, and then took out a set of silver needles. He took out 9 needles and stabbed them into Sun Ling Ling's body. Immediately, Sun Ling Ling stopped screaming. Guopai shook his head and said, Back then, when I was flying, I was directly struck by heavenly lightning. It was 1,000 times more painful than this. Women will always be women. About half an hour later, Sun Ling Ling slowly opened her eyes. She felt a sense of comfort that she had never felt before. Don't move. I'll remove the needle first. With that, Guopai moved like lightning. A moment later, 9 silver needles appeared in his hand. A strange energy fluctuation appeared at the tip of the needles. 9 Rakshasa body. It's actually the 9 Rakshasa body. No wonder I felt that it wasn't so simple when I first felt your pulse. The insidious poison of the 9 Rakshasa body is good stuff. I can't waste it. With that, Guopai put the drops of black liquid on the tip of the needles into a jade bottle. Guopai, am I really okay? Sun Ling Ling looked at Guopai and asked excitedly. She could clearly feel that the cold feeling in her lower abdomen had completely disappeared. Go take a shower first. Wash off the black stuff that oozed out of your body and change your clothes. I'll tell you slowly, Guopai said with a smile while playing with the 9 silver needles in his hand. Okay, Sun Ling Ling said generously this time. She picked up her clothes and ran into the bathroom. A moment later, the sound of running water could be heard. Damn it, I'd better not look there. Peeping at a fairy taking a bath. Back then, the Jade Emperor really dared to convict me. Guopai didn't dare to look at the bathroom. He simply turned on the TV and watched a TV series. My illness was actually cured by him. What kind of person is he? Wu Castle's 4 evils and 5 poisons. What kind of person is he? Good wine, pills, silver needles. What other abilities does he have? Guopai of Wu Castle. In the bathroom, Sun Ling Ling repeated to herself over and over again. I'm already 18 years old. Because of my previous illness, I don't dare to date boys. I even suspect that I'm not a complete woman. Thank you for curing my illness. Thank you, Guopai. Sun Ling Ling walked out of the bathroom and looked at Guopai as she spoke softly. A beauty is a beauty. She's even prettier than the fairies in the sky. She should be comparable to you, Guopai looked at Sun Ling Ling, who had just finished changing her clothes, and sighed. Who's Yua? Sun Ling Ling was stunned. She looked at Guopai and asked, You're with a beauty like me, but you're still thinking about someone else. You're Chong. Ease Yuer. Guopai looked at Sun Ling Ling. His mind was filled with the image of Yuer. He smiled and said, Don't worry about who Yuer is first. I'm telling you now, you haven't fully recovered from your illness. But I feel that my lower abdomen is warm now. It's no longer as cold as before. Sun Ling Ling placed her hand on her lower abdomen and said softly, You're 18 years old this year. The effect of that pill can control the yin poison in your body and prevent it from relapsing for 10 years. However, if you can't expel the yin poison before your birthday this year, when you're 28 years old, you'll feel that heart-wrenching pain again. At that time, even the fairies will find it difficult to save you. Guopai said softly, Then is there any way to completely remove the yin poison in my body? Sun Ling Ling asked with wide eyes. Pure yang breath. Only pure yang breath can completely dissolve the yin poison mother in your body. Guopai said softly. Simply put, you need a man. Then, something pleasing to both of you will completely cure you. Of course, this needs to happen before you're 18 years old. I'm leaving. You can say that I want to take advantage of you. After saying that, Guopai stood up and prepared to leave. Guopai, come here. Sun Ling Ling looked at Guopai's back and said softly, Aren't you worried that I'm lying to you? The moment Guopai turned his head, his blood began to boil. Sun Ling Ling had already taken off her top, and her pair of towering peaks were exposed to the air. Even if you're lying to me, I'll believe you. I don't want to suffer that kind of yin poison anymore. Guopai, take me. After saying that, Sun Ling Ling lay down on the bed. Don't worry, you'll be very happy to be my woman. Guopai couldn't control himself anymore. He directly pounced on her, and the clothes on his body were directly torn apart by him. He could feel that Sun Ling Ling didn't only agree to him because of the treatment. She had already acknowledged him in the depths of her heart. Ah, ah, ah. A wave of passionate sounds came from the room. The two of them didn't deliberately control themselves. In about an hour, the two of them completed a perfect union. Chapter 56. Idiot, get lost. Look at him and look at you. You're just an idiot. A woman in the room next door kicked the man off the bed and said angrily, Guopai, tell me the truth. Did we really do that just now to treat my illness? Sun Ling Ling lay on top of Guopai and asked softly, Do you even need to ask? How can a doctor lie? Guopai said with a serious face, Actually, there's another way to treat Sun Ling Ling. However, with Guopai's current strength, he is unable to complete it. This kind of primitive method is the simplest and most effective. Girl, take this and recuperate your body. Let's go take a bath together. Guopai handed Sun Ling Ling a youth-retaining pill. Without waiting for Sun Ling Ling to react, Guopai had already carried her into the bathroom. A moment later, there was another round of primitive sounds. Guopai, quickly look at my face. Why is it like this? After the two finished their passion, they slept until 9 in the morning. When Sun Ling Ling went to wash up, she suddenly discovered that her skin had become white and tender. Her complexion was also much better. Her skin was so tender that it was as if water could be squeezed out of it. Your husband said that being my woman would be very happy. Let's do it again. Guopai carried Sun Ling Ling, and the two once again had the most primitive passion. Stud, you're a stud. Sun Ling Ling said with a hint of rebuke. Then you're a little filly. Guopai said with a smile. Quickly put on your clothes. Your illness is cured, and you even found a good husband like me. Shouldn't you treat me to something to eat? Scoundrel, big scoundrel. Sun Ling Ling said with a pout. Sister Ling Ling, you're back. Are you okay? That big scoundrel didn't do anything to you, right? Guopai and Sun Ling Ling ate a sumptuous breakfast. No, it should be considered lunch. After returning to their respective rooms, Sun Ling Ling had not even sat down when Shun Bai Ro came over and asked in a low voice. What do you mean? Sun Ling Ling turned her head and smiled at Shun Bai Ro. Sister Ling Ling, what's wrong with your face? What kind of makeup did you use? Shun Bai Ro exclaimed. After being together with Sun Ling Ling for such a long time, Although Sun Ling Ling was beautiful, she wasn't that beautiful. My illness has been cured by Guo Pai. I don't have to take leave every month anymore, Sun Ling Ling said happily. He really knows how to treat illnesses. After treating you for an entire night, nothing else happened between the two of you? Shenbai looked at Sun Ling Ling and asked, "By the way, I've read in a book that a woman's complexion will be much better when she's in love. Are you two together?" Cough, cough. Damn girl, what kind of books do you read every day? Sun Ling Ling says as she throws a pillow at Shenbai. Oh my god, I guessed right. Your face is red. Elder sister Ling Ling, you are Guo Pai's wife. Shenbai said with a smile. Tang Shi, you, Su Yi, and Muron Weiwei. Elder sister, you are ranked 5th. Oh my god. Our 3rd year's beauty has been kidnapped by a 1st year's boy. The two of them laughed at the same time. Weiwei, take leave tomorrow and bring me to your house. I want to see how your brother's illness can be cured. Guo Pai walked to the dorm and called Muron Weiwei's phone. After a night of entanglement, he felt that the immortal energy in his body had increased by quite a bit. The ancients really can't be deceived. Although he didn't deliberately choose the path of dual cultivation, Guo Pai's harvest from this time's passion with Sun Ling Ling was not small. Zhu Zi, where's Duo? Why don't I see Duo? Guo Pai walked around the dorm and didn't see Duo. Hee, bad master. Duo also went on a date last night. That Hushi told him that there was no one at home. He should still be at Hushi's house. However, is it really that good to find a girlfriend? Shuedazhu said with a smile. Zhu Zi, open the door for brother. Hurry up. While the two of them were chatting, they heard a knock on the door. You're back. I'll go open the door. Shuedazhu hurriedly opened the door. Qian and Duo stood at the door in a dispirited state. Duo brother, bad master went out for a night and came back full of energy. You also went out for a night. Why are you so dispirited? Shuedazhu asked in a low voice. There's no one at home. There's really no one at home. I rang the doorbell downstairs of Hushi's house all night, but no one opened the door for me. I called Hushi in the morning, and only then did I know that when she said there was no one at home, there really was no one at home. Qin Duo said with a sobbing tone. Ha, Duo brother, you even knocked on the door all night. With your IQ, you're actually a contestant in this year's competition. Ha, Shuedazhu said with a smile. Let's go. Big brother will take you out to eat to make up for your broken heart. With that, the three of them walked out of the dorm. Duo, Zhu Zi, this is for you. One for each of you. Go buy a bottle of water and drink it later. Guo Pai said as he handed a box to Qian Duo. Inside the box were 2 green pills. Bad guy, I've been miserable enough today. You won't play with me again, right? Qian Duo whispered as he held the pills. If you don't dare to eat it, give it to me. Shuedazhu directly put one of the pills into his mouth. Immediately, a wave of heat rushed to his dantian. Bad master, what is this? No, I have to go to the toilet. Shuedazhu ran towards the nearest toilet. I told you to buy a bottle of water and drink it. You just had to swallow it directly. Sigh. Guo Pai shook his head and said, Duo, you can eat it later. There's no harm. This is a detoxification pill. Big brother spent a lot of effort. Guo Pai said with a smile. After about 10 minutes, Shuedazhu appeared beside the two of them again and said with a face full of excitement, Awesome, bad master. Do you have any more? This thing you gave me is too good. I feel a lot more relaxed. Zhu Zi, don't cheat, big brother. Qian Duo saw that Shuedazhu didn't seem to be lying. He directly swallowed the pill and ran to the toilet. Look, isn't that the repeater Qian Duo from the main competition? Why do I feel that his temperament is much better than before? He's not as wretched as the other students said. Qian Duo came out of the toilet. After seeing him, a few girls whispered to each other. Yeah, the acne on his face is gone. I wonder what kind of acne removal product he used. Another girl said in a low voice. Look, Guo Pai is over there. He's so handsome. A third girl saw Guo Pai and Shuedazhu as she followed the direction Qian Duo was walking in and said loudly, So big brother can be considered to have some fame in the affiliated high school. Guopai said with a smile as he looked at the group of girls who wanted to strike up a conversation with him, but were somewhat shy. Guopai, you guys also came out to eat. Sun Ling Ling and Shun Bai Ro ran into Guopai in the dining hall, and Sun Ling Ling said with a smile, "You dare to call my husband by his name? Are you looking for a beating?" After saying that, Guopai didn't try to avoid arousing suspicion. He stretched out his hand and slapped Sun Ling Ling's butt. Sun Ling Ling looked at Guopai with a shy expression. She didn't get angry, causing everyone to stare with wide eyes. Chapter 57. There are a lot of people here. Be mindful of your image. Sun Ling Ling slapped away Guopai's hand and said with a hint of anger, "Haha, then we'll go to the hotel tonight." Guopai whispered into Sun Ling Ling's ear, causing her face to turn red. Heavens, Sister Ling Ling, you really got together with Guopai. Although Guopai's voice was soft, Shun Bai Ro heard it and asked with a hint of surprise, "Beauty, what are you talking about? Could it be that you also like me, bad guy?" Actually, bad guy is a bit of a playboy. You can consider me, I'm also not bad. Shui Zhu looked at Shun Bai Ro and said with a smile, this little girl in front of him was not bad. If he brought her back to the Shui family village, she would definitely be able to suppress the people in the village. I'm sorry, I don't like men who are younger than me and are so tall. Shun Bai Ro said with a smile. You two look like husband and wife. Your marriage lines are also connected. You will like him sooner or later, haha. Guopai said with a laugh. Student Guopai, right? Then how do people like you who have a foot in boats connect their marriage lines? Shun Bai Ro looked at Guopai and asked, Bad guy go. You haven't been to class for a long time. Teacher Lin Shuang is looking for you. As they were talking, Murong Wei Wei walked over from afar. Sister Ling Ling, you're also here. Murong Wei Wei looked at Guopai and Sun Ling Ling, standing very close to each other. Her heart tightened, and she helplessly smiled. It was good that Guopai could think of her. He had too many entanglements with girls. Wei Wei, I didn't look carefully during the one competition last time, but today I discovered that you are really too beautiful. No wonder bad guy likes you so much, calling you a beautiful wife all the time. Sun Ling Ling said to Murong Wei Wei with a smile. Sister Ling Ling, don't talk nonsense. Murong Wei Wei's face turned red as she whispered and stood beside Guopai. Bad guy go, do you have time tomorrow? I want to go home tomorrow. Come with me. Murong Wei Wei looked at Guopai and said softly. Her brother's illness could not be delayed. She saw that Sun Ling Ling's complexion was good and knew that Sun Ling Ling's illness should have been cured by Guopai. Okay, contact me tomorrow. Let's go together, Guopai said with a smile. You said that teacher Lin Shuang was looking for me. What's the matter? I'll go take a look. You guys can continue chatting. Beep, beep, beep. Guopai took a deep breath and knocked on the door of the Chinese Language Teaching and Research Consortium's office. Lin Shuang did not know what she was busy with, so she did not raise her head. Lin Shuang was the only one in the room. Guopao did not make a sound. He walked behind Lin Shuang, and a delicate fragrance made him unconsciously take a deep breath. Lin Shuang looked at a file on the table, shook her head, and said, That big baddie hasn't come to class for a week. Every day, he let that bad egg Qian Duo give him a break. Director Shui doesn't care either. What is this? There will be new students the day after tomorrow, and he's still in the first class. I have to talk to Headmaster Li. She's a great beauty. It's not bad for her to come to the first class. Guopai looked at the photo in the file and felt a sense of déjà vu. However, he did not know where he had seen her before. If she's a beauty, then all the more she can't come to our class. With a big baddie in the class, this little girl will suffer. Lin Shuang said subconsciously, you, when did you come in? Why didn't you knock? Lin Shuang suddenly felt someone standing behind her. She turned her head and saw who it was, but the big baddie she was talking about. Teacher, it's not good to talk bad about your students behind their backs. Guopai looked at Lin Shuang lecherously and said with a smile, I've been a little busy recently. Didn't I report to you as soon as I was done? Did you miss me? Guopai, I'm your teacher. Be serious. Lin Shuang tidied up her clothes and glared at Guopai. Since you're done with your work, I hope to see you in class tomorrow. I can't tomorrow. Wei Wei asked for leave to go home tomorrow. I have to follow her, Guopai said honestly. Wei Wei asked for leave to go home. What are you going to follow her for? Lin Shuang said with a glare. Lin Ling's illness has been cured. Wei Wei still has some things to do, Guo Pai said with a smile. Teacher Lin, you're quite sick too. Do you need me to treat you? Guo Pai said with a smirk as he looked at Lin Shuang's chest. Bastard, what are you doing? I'm your teacher. You back off, Lin Shuang said with a hint of nervousness. Weak qi and cold body. Strong liver fire. Teacher Lin, your illness is written on your face. I don't need to check your pulse to know, Guo Pai said with a smile. Take this medicine first. It can temporarily relieve your illness. When I come back from Wei Wei's house, I'll cure you completely. Huh, Guo Pai said as he threw a box to Lin Shuang. There was a youth-retaining pill in it. Bastard, you're the weak one. You're the one with a strong liver fire, Lin Shuang said loudly as she watched Guo Pai walk out. Beep, beep, beep. There was a knock on the door. Bastard, why are you back again? Lin Shuang shouted and opened the door. Li Xuanyu was standing outside. He looked at Lin Shuang with a stunned expression. The most beautiful teacher in the affiliated high school. Did he hear wrongly? Principal Li, I'm not talking about you. Guo Pai came just now, Lin Shuang said softly with her head lowered. Did that brat make you angry again? Li Xuanyu said with a smile. Shaolin, don't be angry. Actually, that guy's not bad. At least he's doing well in his studies. It's all thanks to you. Principal, don't joke around. I've seen him about the same number of times since school started. I don't even know who he learned these things from, Lin Shuang said as she shook her head. I see. Li Xuanyu smiled unnaturally. There will be a new classmate the day after tomorrow. It's a girl. Did Director Shui give you her file? Principal, you can't just let anyone come to our class, right? Lin Shuang said with a hint of dissatisfaction. Guo Pai, Shui Dezhu, and Qian Duo, who repeated a year ago. It's only been a little more than a month, and I've already had 3 people. I know about that. But this girl was specifically requested to be in your class. She's an American Chinese and has already joined the Chinese government. She's the heir of a big family in the United States and donated 100 million to build the school, Li Xuanyu said with a smile. 3 days ago, a girl appeared in the principal's office of Fu Zhong High School. Without saying anything, she handed Li Xuanyu her own file and a check. My great-grandfather stayed in Wu Castle before he went to the United States. Although I've never met him, I know that he had a wish. He hoped that I could send his ashes back to China and that his descendants could return to China, the girl said softly as she looked at Li Xuanyu. I've already settled his matter. I'll stay in China forever. I now hope to become a student of Wu Castle Affiliated High School. Sorry to trouble you, Principal Li. The school has regulations. If you want to be admitted, you need to do an exam. Only if you pass the exam can I let you in. Li Xuanyu saw a series of zeros on the check, but still chose to let the girl follow the procedure. Principal, full marks for all 7 subjects. Chapter 58. Principal Li, can you transfer me to another school now? The girl asked Li Xuanyu with a smile. This student should be from the affiliated high school. I saw his picture on the school's forum. I want to be in the same class as him. Principal Li, please do me a favor. No problem. Li Xuanyu took the 100 million check and agreed to the girl's request. This request was nothing. Principal, I think you've been bribed. Lin Shuang looked at Li Xuanyu and said, if you want to come to our class, then come to our class. Who knows, you might be able to teach Guo Pai a lesson. Achoo, achoo. Who's thinking of me? It must be Teacher Lin who wants me to cure your illness. It's just a matter of time. Guo Pai walked back to the dormitory with a perverted smile. Bad guy, give it to me, give it to me. Do you have more? As soon as they arrived at the dormitory, Qian Duo and Shui Dezhu blocked Guo Shui at the door. Their temperaments had completely changed. If Qian Duo was a wretched youth in the past, and Shui Dezhu was a big fool from the countryside, now Qian Duo gave off the feeling of a graceful youth, and Shui Dezhu was like a soldier king. If you're not afraid of death, I'll find a way to get more for you. You're already very good. The path of cultivation can't rely on pills alone, Guo Pai said with a smile. Seeing their expressions, Guopai knew that the pills he gave them were effective. Bad guy, the pills he gave us are really good. I didn't even eat all day. I ran from the classroom to the dormitory in one breath, and I'm not tired at all. Qian Duo said with a smile. Me too. I'm more energetic today, Shuedeju said with a smile. If there's anything good in the future, I'll continue to give it to you. Haha, we're brothers. Good brothers, Guopai said with a smile. But don't show off all your skills in school. Life lasts 100 years. We have to have fun. Life lasts 100 years. Have fun. Ha, boss, we'll follow you from now on. Qian Duo said with a smile. No wonder bad guy's handwriting is so interesting. It turns out that my two teachers can't even compare to bad guy in terms of understanding of life. Bad guy, let's meet at the school gate at 8 o'clock tomorrow. I've already told Teacher Lin that I'm taking 3 days off. Murong Wei called Guopai and whispered, if there's anything you need me to bring or prepare, just let me know. As long as you dress up beautifully and look good for my eyes, I'll help you with your brother's illness. Gui said with a mischievous smile, Lass, don't worry. I've already prepared everything. When the time comes, I'll do my best. The two chatted for a while and hung up the phone. Someone has deceived the heavenly secret. What's going on? I have an inexplicable feeling. Are there other deities in the lower realm? Guopai originally wanted to calculate the pros and cons of this trip, but he found that there was nothing to gain. The heavenly secret was deceived. If it's a blessing, it's not a curse. If it's a curse, it can't be avoided. Whatever. I'm not going to cultivate today. Let's sleep. With that, Guopai lay on the bed and fell asleep in a short while. Mind-reading sage, let me find you. Life in the human world is not bad. Youth-retaining pill, meridian-opening pill, it's not small. Will you be surprised when we meet the day after tomorrow? You said with a smile while lying on the big bed alone. Bad guy, are you going out again? Li Wei saw Guopai holding Murong Wei's hand and walking to the school gate and greeted him. Brother Wei, I met a Taoist outside a few days ago. He gave me a few pills, and I'll give you one. I don't know if it can make you immortal. With that, Guopai threw a good-looking pill to Li Wei. Li Wei didn't hesitate and put it in his mouth. Bad guy, it tastes good. Where did you find it? I'm going to try my luck. Li Wei said with a smile. Bad guy, if you have something to do, go ahead. I have something to do. With that, Li Wei walked toward the security department without looking back. Bad guy, what did you give him? Why did you suddenly go in? Murong Wei looked at Guopai, who had a smirk on his face, and asked in a low voice. It's nothing. I gave him some pills to regulate his body. Let's go. Guopai took Murong Wei's hand and walked out of the campus. Brother Wei, what's wrong? Why did you suddenly come in? Several people in the security department saw Li Wei's flushed face and asked with a smile. I'm hard. I'm hard again. Li Wei pointed at his lower body and said loudly, Damn it, my injury is healed. Before he was demobilized from the army, Li Wei had accidentally injured his younger brother during a mission. It had been 2 years since then, and he had gone to many places to look for doctors and medicine, but he still couldn't find a cure. He had already lost all hope, but now he was cured by Guopai's pill. How could he not be excited? Bad guy, let's wait here for a while. Someone will come to pick us up. The two of them walked to an intersection, and Murong Wei said with a smile, My dad has a weird temper. Don't mind him when you see him. Guopai smiled and nodded. He knew a little about the Murong family. The Murong family, Nangong family, and Xinyuan family were known as the three big families in the capital. It was obvious how influential the Murong family was in China. Mississippi, a silver-white Rolls-Royce stopped beside Guopai and Murong Wei. A young man was driving, and an old man came out from the back. He looked at Murong Wei and greeted her respectfully. Grandpa Yin, why are you here today? Murong Wei looked at the old man and said with a smile, What's wrong? Can't I come? The old man said with a smile, Get in the car. The family head is waiting for you. Xiao Fei, you don't have to act so cool. It's just driving a car. Murong Wei looked at the driver and said with a smile, Sister Wei, you saw me. Is this brother the one you said was going to treat brother Long? There are a lot of bad people nowadays. Sister, don't be fooled. Murong Fei, who was driving, said with a smile. Xiao Fei, watch your words. Bad guy has a special ability. If he gets angry, you'll suffer. Murong Wei Wei said with a hint of anger. Special ability? My master also has a special ability. When the time comes, I'll let him practice with my master. He. Murong Fei said with a smile. You're young, but you've trained your body to this extent. Not bad. You do have the qualifications to be arrogant. Guopai looked at Murong Fei and said with a smile. Oh, you can tell that I've trained? Murong Fei was stunned and asked with a smile. You have already achieved a small success in the Octane Blast, but your Tai Chi is still lacking. Your body was soaked in medicinal wine quite well, but your internal martial arts are still lacking. Your master should be an expert of the 8th level. Guo Piao said with his eyes closed. Xiao Fei, drive carefully. The old man looked at Murong Fei, who was in a daze, and reminded him. Handsome, you're amazing. You didn't even fight with me, but you know my background so well. Let's get out of the car and practice. Murong Fei said with a smile. Chapter 59. Okay. Guopai said heroically. Big brother bad guy. How confident are you in curing my brother's illness? Murong Wei Wei looked at Guopai and could not help but ask. I need to see him in person to be sure. But don't worry, girl. I will do my best, Guopai said softly as he held Murong Wei Wei's hand. Murong Wei Wei nodded gently. Since Guopai could take out the rainbow youth-retaining pill, only he could possibly cure her brother's illness. Miss, Master wants you to go to his place first. Guopai, and little you can wait in the courtyard. Murong Yin said with a smile as he looked at Guopai and Murong Wei Wei after the car stopped. Aren't you going to let Big Brother Bad Guy come with me to see Father? Murong Wei Wei frowned and asked softly. Master wants to see you first, Murong Yin said with a smile. It just so happens that little Fei and Guopai and little you want to spar. Let them chat here first. Murong Wei Wei glanced at Guopai. Guopai nodded gently. Girl, go with him. I have nothing to do. I will spar with little Fei. Haha, Sister Wei Wei, you can go in. We will stop when necessary, Murong Fei said with a smile. Murong Fei smiled as he watched Murong Wei Wei and Murong Yin walk away. You're older than me by 1 or 2 years. I call you bad guy. Grandpa Yin sent Sister Wei Wei away. You should understand what that means, right? I understand. There are many such scenes in novels. You should be the first test for brother, right? Guopai looked at Murong Fei and said with a smile. Since bad guy understands, then let's cut the crap. Murong Fei said as he assumed an offensive and defensive posture. Don't use the Octane Blast. Use the 7-star Mantis Fist. I'm afraid you will regret it. Guopai looked at Murong Fei and said with a smile. The 7-sided Mantis Fist is also known as the Luohan Mantis Fist. It's one of the traditional martial arts of the Han Dynasty. It belongs to the Northern Sect's Mantis Fist. Its basic stance was based on the 7-star steps. Its force is firm and brittle, sweeping and crashing. As he spoke, Guopao also adopted the posture of a 7-sided praying mantis fist. All talk and no action. Bad guy, take this. Although I specialize in Octane Blast, I practiced the 7-sided mantis fist for 3 years. It should be enough to deal with you. Murong Fei attacked Guopai directly. The general principles of the 7-sided mantis fist are kicking, hitting, throwing, taking, and tapping. There were 24 fatal Mandarin duck kicks and 36 hidden kicks. There were 3 falls and 6 falls, a total of 36 falls. There were 108 characters in the fighting style and 24 characters in the overall fighting style. There were 18 major grappling techniques, 36 slippery techniques, and 36 sticky and frozen techniques, making a total of 72 grappling techniques. There were 12 major acupuncture points and 24 acupuncture points. Murong Fei's attacks were brilliant, and Guopai's attacks were powerful. Murong Fei attacked 72 times, and Guopai countered 72 times. Tired? Then I'll show you what the real 7-sided mantis fist is. Guopai said as he attacked Murong Fei. The 7-sided mantis fist emphasizes 8 strikes, 8 no strikes, 8 hard, 12 soft. The technique emphasizes 12 words: hook, hug, pluck, hang, collapse, chop, slash, smash, stick, take, help, lean. Guohuai's every move was precise and accurate, beating Murong Fei until he had no way to resist. Remember the characteristics of the praying mantis fist: advance and retreat, feint and reality, rise and fall in length, flash, spread, move, jump in and out, the combination of hardness and gentleness, opening and closing, closing and closing. In terms of technique, it was hard to tell the difference between the real and the fake, changing according to the situation. Take up and then take down and then take up. From the inner gate to the outer gate, from the outer gate to the inner gate, from the inner gate to the inner gate. The move was to attack. 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 The move was to the way of the fist. Technique was fast, crisp, and straightforward. Guopai's fist moves include thrusting hammer, bursting step, interception, breaking steel, soft spirit, 18 shuttles, small tumbling cart, big tumbling cart, abstract 6 paths for sections, and 8 elbow, cleaving hammer, and intercepting hammer. Guopai's last move fell, and Murong Fei was sent flying to the ground. Bad guy, you're amazing. Your 7-sided mantis fist is even better than my master's. I'm impressed. Murong Fei gasped for breath. Guopai's every move seemed to have landed on Murong Fei's body, but he did not cause any harm to Murong Fei. With this level of control, an expert could tell the difference with just a glance. Take this pill. Your master is not bad. He wants to use the 7-sided mantis fist to alleviate the hidden injuries that the octane blast has on your body. However, he underestimated the power of the octane blast, Guopai said as he threw a pill to Murong Fei. If you want to break through the limits of the Xiantian realm, come find me at the affiliated high school when you have time. Break through to the Xiantian realm? How is that possible? How old is he? He actually dares to say such words. Even that martial arts maniac from the Xianyuan family wouldn't dare to say such words. Murong Gu said softly as he stood in front of a large screen and looked at Guopai and Murong Fei. Master, Miss is waiting for you in the living room, Murong Yin said softly as he walked to Murong Gu's side. This little fellow that Wei Wei found is not bad. Uncle Yin, take a look at the recording of his fight with Xiao Fei. See if you have any confidence in winning against this little fellow, Murong Gu said with a smile. After about 5 minutes, Murong Yin's forehead was covered in sweat. At the end of the recording, Murong Yin could not help but shout, "Good! Master, this Guopai is unfathomable. I have no chance of winning against him," Murong Yin said softly. Call Murong Ying here, Murong Gu said softly with a frown. I need you to gather all the information on this Guopai. The 4 evils of Wu Castle are well hidden. Murong Gu looked at a middle-aged man in black and said with a smile. After he finished speaking, he walked straight to the living room. Wei Wei, how have you been? Murong Gu had just arrived in the living room when he saw Murong Wei Wei reading a book. I've brought him here. I want to see my brother, Murong Wei Wei said softly as she looked up at Murong Gu. Uncle Yin, bring that young man here, Murong Gu said softly. Wei Wei, the Kong family will not cause trouble for you anymore. It's my fault for not making proper arrangements. You also did not make proper arrangements for my brother back then. He has been bedridden for 6 whole years, Murong Wei Wei said with her eyes slightly red. Girl, why are you crying? I'm fine now, aren't I? Guopai walked into the living room and ignored Murong Gu. He walked straight to Murong Wei Wei and said with a smile, This is Murong Gu, the previous master of the Murong family. Murong Wei Wei pointed at Murong Gu and introduced him to Guopai. Let's get down to business. I want to see your brother, Guopai said with a smile, his eyes never leaving Murong Weiwei. Since you don't like this place, I'll quickly treat my brother-in-law and we'll leave. Boy, watch your attitude. This is the Murong family. Murong Yin could not help but say. Guopai glanced at Murong Yin, who was still talking and laughing in the car, and said with narrowed eyes, "You've learned some skills in Tai Chi, but your strength is still not enough. Let's go. I'll bring you to see Xiaolong. If you can cure Xiaolong, I, Murong Gu, will owe you a favor," Murong Gu said as he looked at Guopai. "Remember, your favor is worthless to me. I'm here for Weiwei." Guopai did not give Murong Gu any face and pulled Murong Weiwei over. Chapter 60. Brother, Weiwei is here to see you. Murong Weiwei looked at Murong Long, who was lying on the bed with tubes all over his body. She could not help but cry. "Let me take a look at him." Guopai stepped forward and placed his hand on Murong Long's wrist. "How is Xiaolong? Do you have any ideas?" Murong Gu asked softly when he saw Guopai retracting his hand. "Weiwei, put this pill in brother's mouth first. I have something to tell him." Guopai handed Murong Weiwei a pill and said softly while pointing at Murong Gu, "Young mistress, Dr. Chiu said that we can't give Xiaolong any medicine." Murong Yin reminded her, "I believe in brother bad guy." Murong Weiwei carefully put the pill into Murong Long's mouth as she spoke. "What's the matter? Just say it." Murong Gu followed Guopai out and asked, "Don't tell anyone that I'm here. Now, get Murong Long's personal doctor here immediately. Find the person you can trust the most. I thought it was some serious illness. You're really something as a father. You don't even know that your son has been poisoned." Guopai looked at Murong Gu and said, "I'll send someone to bring the doctor here immediately." Murong Gu said softly, "Also, thank you for this." Murong Gu understood that Guopai had called him out to tell him these things so that Murong Weiwei would not know. If Murong Weiwei knew that her brother had been poisoned right under her nose, his relationship with Weiwei would become even worse. "Don't thank me. I'll cure Murong Long. However, I don't want too many people to know about this. I don't care who you have a grudge against, but I don't want Weiwei to be involved in this." After saying that, Guopai walked into the room again. "Brother bad guy, I've already given brother the medicine you gave me. Can he still be cured?" Murong Weiwei looked at Guopai and asked softly, "Wait for me outside. Tell Xiao Fei to come in. Tell your father that the doctor will be here soon. Don't say anything. Just control him first," Guopai said with a smile. "I will cure my brother-in-law's illness. Think about the reward after I cure him. Haha. Bad guy, is there anything I can help you with?" Murong Fei heard Guopai calling for him, so he quietly walked in and asked in a low voice, "It's nothing. I just called you in for a chat. I have nothing to do and I'm bored," Guopai said with a smile. "I gave you a pill just now. Now, I'm going to teach you a set of mental cultivation techniques. You can practice it here. Bad guy, you're only a few years older than me. I've been thinking about how you trained. I've been learning martial arts from my master since I was 5 years old. Logically speaking, there shouldn't be such a big gap between you and me," Murong Fei whispered to Guopai. "Because I'm an immortal," Guopai said with a smile. "Listen to the good mental cultivation technique and practice it well. I'll treat Murong Long first. Haha." Murong Fei smiled and nodded. "You're an immortal. Brother, do you think I'm a child? Let me tell you, I went to primary school. How can you lie to me? No matter what happens here, don't be distracted. If you can do it, you'll know the benefits in the future." Guopai told Murong Fei the mental cultivation technique, and then said to Murong Fei, "Even if the sky falls, I don't care." After Murong Fei finished speaking, he entered a meditative state. "Haha, you're a martial arts fanatic. Not bad," Guopai said with a smile. He stood up and looked at Murong Long, who was covered in tubes. Then he pulled out the tubes with both hands. "Brother-in-law, I know that your consciousness exists. I'll cure you of the poison in your body in a while. You'll know some of my secrets. I believe you'll keep them secret," Guopai said to Murong Long with a smile. "That's ruthless. The poison has entered the bone marrow. Moreover, it's linked to one another." Guopai took out his silver needles and inserted 81 needles into Murong Long's body. If an ordinary Chinese doctor saw this, they would definitely be shocked. In less than a minute, he had inserted 81 needles. Your inner force is so strong. You're already unconscious, but your body is still cultivating. Haha, interesting. Since you haven't given up, I'll protect your skills. After all, I'm your brother-in-law. Guopai said with a smile. Beep, beep, beep. A soft knocking sound came from the door. Guopai knew that Murong Long's doctor must have been brought in. I'll go and ask what this 9 worms and 9 herbs poison is. Safety first, safety first. Elder Chiu, please take a seat. Murong Gu said with a smile to a spirited old man in a long robe who looked to be in his 60s. Gu, may I know why you called me here in such a hurry? Did Xiaolong's condition worsen again? The old man looked at Murong Gu and asked softly. The child is a pitiful child. To have contracted such an illness. He is quite pitiful. Originally, there was still hope for him to recover. However, he was poisoned by his own doctor. Guopai walked out of the room and saw Murong Long's personal doctor, Chiu Yizhen. He was the honorary director of Takashi University's Medical College and the vice president of China's Chinese Medicine Association. Gu, this little you looks very unfamiliar. Is he your guest? Chiu Yizhen looked at Guopai and asked with a smile. Calm in the face of danger, the demeanor of a great general. Guopai did not say much and sat directly opposite Chiu Yizhen. Elder, you're a Miao doctor, right? I'm a Miao person. I want to know what you mean just now. Chiu Yizhen raised his head and looked at Guopai. If you're a Miao person, then I'm even more certain. Elder should know more about the 9 worms and 9 herbs poison than I do. Tell me, where are the 9 worms? Don't try to lie to me. As he spoke, Guopai took out a desert eagle. He removed the safety and placed it on the table. Gu, do you believe this young man in front of you and not me? Chiu Yizhen asked calmly. Wei Wei found him to treat Xiaolong. Murong Gu said softly. Bang! A bullet pierced through Chiu Yizhen's calf. It misfired. This time it's his calf. You won't be so lucky next time. Murong Gu's eyes widened. He did not even see how Guopai picked up the gun and fired. Are you sure that I'm the one who poisoned him? Chiu Yizhen gritted his teeth and asked with his eyes wide open. Don't ask me. I'm not sure if it's you. You don't have to stall for time. Murong Long won't die. Guopai squinted his eyes and pressed on Chiu Yizhen's calf. He hit a few acupuncture points, and the bleeding calf stopped. Who are you? Chiu Yizhen looked at his calf and asked softly. The young man in front of him was not simple, but his ability to stop bleeding was far better than his. Go and get the chef of this house. Guopai did not answer Chiu Yizhen's question. He smiled and said to Murong Gu, Elder, you have one last chance. If you don't tell him, you'll die without a doubt if he does. Guopai looked at Chiu Yizhen and said, Tell me who you are, and I'll tell you the antidote formula for the 9 worms and 9 herbs poison. Chiu Yizhen gritted his teeth and said softly, Since you've admitted it, then die. Bang! A headshot. Chiu Yizhen did not understand. He was ready to tell him the antidote formula for the 9 worms and 9 herbs poison. Why did he still want to kill him? Why did he want to kill him with so many questions? Chapter 61. Guopai, this is the Murong family. You shouldn't have done this. Murong Gu could not help but say. He's a member of the Nangong family. His real name is Nangong Chiu. Your intelligence work is too bad, Guopai said as he shook his head. If I hadn't killed him, you wouldn't have had the chance to do it again. Nangong Qian, your good wife wouldn't have let you touch her uncle. I've done you a big favor. After saying that, Guopai walked towards Murong Long's room again. Pa! The cup in Murong Gu's hand was crushed by his own hand. Nangong Qian. Master, may I know why you're looking for me? A fair-looking middle-aged man stood in front of Murong Gu. He glanced at Chiu Yizhen, who was lying on the ground, and took a deep breath. Meng Zhuang, how many years have you been here? Murong Gu asked softly as he sat on the sofa with his back facing the middle-aged man. It's been 7 years. I remember when I arrived, it was the young lady's 9th birthday, Meng Zhuang said softly. Guopai did not care about what was happening outside. He returned to the room and saw the 81 silver needles oozing out black liquid. Saving a life is more meritorious than building a 7-story pagoda. Jade Emperor, did you see that? I'm saving someone. You have to remember the merit that you should give me, Guo Pao thought to himself. Brother-in-law, come in mind. Don't get too excited. This is just the beginning. If you don't want any side effects, follow this strand of my will. Guo Pao sent out a strand of his divine sense to communicate with Murong Long. Words cannot express my gratitude. When Murong Long recovers, I will definitely repay you handsomely. Murong Long sensed Guo Pai's divine sense and replied, You are not only poisoned by the 9 poisons, but also poisoned by the 9 poisons. It's not just the 9 worms and 9 herbs poison. When you were poisoned, there was also a problem with your diet. The yin and yang clashed, resulting in your current situation. You have an energy recovery pill in your mouth. In another 10 minutes or so, it will completely disappear. Later, I will give you a poison-devouring pill. It will be very painful. If you can endure it, you will be able to preserve your cultivation base during the years of coma. If you can't, you will have to start all over again, Guo said with a mischievous smile. The moment the energy recovery pill disappeared from Murong Long's mouth, Guo Pai stuffed a pitch-black pill into Murong Long's mouth. In an instant, Murong Long's body trembled. Bad guy, you saved Brother Long. Murong Fei had circulated the cultivation technique Guo Pai gave him for 36 cycles. The moment he woke up, he saw Murong Long trembling and the silver needles on his body making sounds. Murong Fei could not help but ask, If you want to die, then come closer. The poison seeping out from brother-in-law's body is no longer just the 9 poisons and 9 poisons. Whether or not it can be cured, I cannot guarantee. Guo Pai, who was standing at the side, looked at Murong Fei, who had taken a step forward, and said with a smile, Rumble. Suddenly, a muffled clap of thunder rang out in the cloudless sky, causing Guo Pao to shiver unconsciously. He stretched out his hand and counted with his fingers. His back was immediately drenched in cold sweat. Amateus Buddha, I came at the right time. If I had come a few days later, this kid's soul would have been taken away by Oxhead and Horseface. Then, even immortals would be hard-pressed to save him, Guo Pai thought. Exalted immortals, I am truly sorry. I have saved this person. Please leave first. I have offended you this time. In the future, I will think of a way to compensate the two of you. Guo Pai said to the void. The sound of thunder gradually faded away. What are you still looking at? The medicinal pill in that person's hand has the smell of Taishang Laojun. Although this person is immortal, we cannot afford to offend him. Let's go. This kid's life is not meant to end. No one could see that in another space, a black and a white figure slowly disappeared. Guo Pai took a deep breath and said, Shoo. Fortunately, someone covered up the heavens. Otherwise, if the soul-chasing thunder hit him, all my efforts today would have been in vain. The originally trembling Murong Long suddenly sat up on the bed and roared. A stream of black gas came out of his mouth, and he directly laid down on the bed. Bad guy, is Brother Long okay? Murong Fei looked at the motionless Murong Long and whispered, What would be wrong with him? He fainted from the pain. Guo Pai said with a smile, You brat, stop looking. Go outside and tell Murong Gu to prepare a wooden bucket. If he doesn't have one, get all the living creatures in the pond outside and fill it with boiling water. What are you looking at? Go. Okay. Murong Fei turned and ran outside. Third uncle, bad guy asked you to prepare a bigger wooden bucket and fill it with boiling water. If there isn't a wooden bucket, then use the bath. Brother, Murong Wei, who had been waiting for news in the room next door, heard the loud commotion and once again appeared in Murong Long's room. When she saw Murong Long lying motionless on the bed with silver needles all over his body and not breathing at all, she anxiously shouted, Girl, don't touch him. He is detoxifying. Guo Pai hurriedly pulled Murong Long back. I'm a most tired person here. Sai, I'm so sad. You should take care of your brother more. Brother bad guy, are you okay? Murong Wei looked at Guo Pai, who was sweating profusely, and asked with a hint of heartache. How is brother? Why is he not breathing at all? He is fine now. You should be able to have breakfast with us tomorrow. Tell the people outside to throw brother-in-law directly into the hot water when it is ready. When there are no more black things coming out of his body, then call me again. I want to rest. After he finished speaking, Guopai walked straight into Murong Weiwei's room. After a while, Murong Gu actually found a big wooden bucket and filled it with hot water. Third uncle, are we really going to soak Brother Long in? Murong Fei looked at the steaming wooden bucket and asked softly, is the pill that Brat gave you effective? Murong Gu looked at Murong Fei and asked, the hidden injuries from practicing the Baji Blast have all been healed. My inner strength has increased by at least 30%. Murong Fei said without hiding anything. Throw Xiaolong in, Murong Gu said loudly. Guopai, if you can really cure Xiaolong's illness, I will make you a guest of honor and hand Weiwei over to you. I will be relieved. Third uncle, why is it suddenly so cold? The moment Murong Long was thrown into the wooden bucket, the steam in the wooden bucket disappeared completely. Even those standing beside the wooden bucket could feel a trace of coldness. Go and ask Guopai what to do now, Murong Gu said loudly to Murong Fei. Murong Fei flew into the house. Add hot water. Bad guy, who has been adding hot water. When the water is not cold, there should be no more things coming out of Brother Long's body. Murong Fei shouted before he even left the house. Inside the Murong family's house, there were smoking places everywhere. At first, people thought it was a fire. Later, someone spread the news that they had been heating the water. A set of mahogany furniture in the living room had been burned as firewood. An hour later, after changing the water several times, the water was no longer cold. Murong Gu glanced at his son, who was lying in the water, and saw that there were no traces of burns on his body. He was finally able to put down the stone in his heart. Chapter 62. Big Brother Bad Guy, my brother has been fished out of the barrel. What should we do now? Murong Weiwei whispered into Guopai's ear. In the beginning, Murong Fei had been running back and forth asking what to do. After being scolded by Guopai, he let Murong Gu say whatever he wanted. He was not prepared to offend this demon who had just fallen asleep. However, the one who had been poisoned was her brother. Murong Weiwei bit her lip and asked Guopai, Girl, you really can't let me rest for a while. Since you fished him out, just put him on the bed first. I'll go take a look when I wake up. Guopao said vaguely. With his current strength, using 81 needles in a row was indeed quite taxing on his body. Thank you, Big Brother Bad Guy. Murong Weiwei looked at Guopai and kissed Guopai gently on the forehead. Although it was just a kiss on the forehead, Murong Weiwei had completely accepted the man in front of her. Girl, you can't do this. Since you've kissed me, then let me kiss you back. Guopao, who had his eyes closed, immediately hugged Murong Weiwei, and his mouth found Murong Weiwei's mouth. Bad guy, you're really a bad guy, Murong Weiwei said with a red face. Women are all unreasonable. You were the one who kissed me first. Hee, Guopai said with a smile. Now that you've cheered me on, I'm more energetic now. I was thinking of letting you have breakfast with my brother-in-law tomorrow. I'll go visit him later and see if we can have dinner together tonight. Guo Shuai said as he pulled Murong Weiwei out of the room. Uncle Murong, where's my brother-in-law? Guopai asked with a smile when he saw Murong Gu and Meng Zhuang still drinking tea. This must be our Murong family chef. Today, let's cook something delicious according to this recipe. As he spoke, Guopai threw a piece of white paper in his hand over. The white paper stuck on the table. Primordial Kaiyuan pork, Inyang water chestnut, Laotan chicken cucumber, 9 drunk peanuts, Shenyang Kaitai dog, Duo Color secret recipe beans, 1000 burrow rabbit meat, Old Go celery, secret recipe, salted Crucian carp, running horse oil oats, ground dragon fried foie gras, phoenix dance egg flour. Meng Zhuang read the names of the dishes one by one, and his face suddenly changed. Meng Zhuang, right? That's what you should be able to do. Go ahead. No matter what, we have to finish this meal. Then, we can have a good chat, Guopai said with a smile. After hearing Guopai's explanation, Murong Gu's gaze fell upon the recipe. Master, I'll go cook first. When Meng Zhuang saw the expression on Guopai's face when he looked at him, He was shocked at first, but then he calmed down. Without waiting for Guopai to say anything, he turned around and walked into the kitchen. Uncle Morong, I'll go check on my brother-in-law first. You guys can continue chatting. I think my brother-in-law will be able to join us when it's time to eat. After Guopai finished speaking, he pulled Murong Weiwei into Murong Long's room. Bad guy, you're finally awake. You don't know this, but just changing Brother Long's water today almost exhausted me, Murong Fei said loudly. That's right. However, the water exchange today was worth it. You've completely absorbed the medicinal effects of the pill I gave you. Tomorrow, I'll prescribe some Chinese medicine for you. Then, all your chronic ailments will be cured, Guopai said with a smile. Bad guy, after you've cured my injuries, my body will be yours. If you need anything, I'll be at your disposal, Murong Fei said with a smile. Murong Fei said with a smile. He knew how much his body's hidden illness affected him, especially after the age of 30. Wash your hands and help my brother-in-law get up, Guopai said with a smile. Weiwei, you don't have to hide anymore. No matter what happens later, don't panic. It's all normal. As he said that, 9 silver needles that were not much thicker than the previous ones appeared in Guopai's hand. He then pierced them into Murong Long's body. Bad guy, you're piercing all the acupoints. Murong Fei was a martial artist, so naturally, he knew which acupoints Guopai had pierced with the 9 silver needles. Weiwei didn't say anything. So what are you talking about? Just tell my brother-in-law up. Guopai smiled. He then took out another pill and gently placed it into Murong Long's mouth. Brother-in-law, the last soul can be returned to you. As soon as Guopai finished speaking, Murong Long's eyes slowly opened. Brother. Murong Weiwei shouted excitedly when she saw Murong Long open his eyes. Weiwei, don't come over yet. His last soul hasn't completely returned yet. Wait a little longer. Guopai hurriedly called out to Murong Weiwei. Brother, brother. Murong Weiwei shouted excitedly. 6 years. Her brother had been in a coma for 6 years. The man in front of her had saved him. Little Fei, no matter what happens later, you can't move. Hold Murong Long with both hands. Guopai's face was pale as he said loudly to Murong Fei. Don't worry. Murong Fei clenched his teeth. He felt a powerful aura erupting from Murong Long's body. I'm going to withdraw the needles. Weiwei, leave this room first. Guopai said loudly. Murong Weiwei nodded lightly and walked out of the room. Just as Murong Weiwei walked out of the room, Guopai took out the 9 silver needles like lightning. Then, a loud noise came from the room. Murong Fei was directly sent flying. The whole room seemed to shake. Murong Long roared and slowly stood up. Murong Long, am back. Murong Long said softly. Cough, 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 this kind of heaven-defying life, snatching really can't be done often. Guopai coughed a few times and put a pill into his mouth. Brother-in-law, take this pill and then give it to little Fei. This time, he'll help you a lot. After saying that, Guopai sat down cross-legged and his complexion slowly improved. Weiwei, tell father that no one is allowed to come near here. Murong Long said to Murong Weiwei, who was completely shocked outside the door with a smile. The commotion just now was very big. Tell Grandpa Yin to take care of the things outside. Brother, it's really you. You come back to life. Murong Weiwei said excitedly. Then, her gaze fell on Guopai. The man she called over had saved her brother. Now, she wanted to hug Guopai fiercely. However, she still listened to her brother's words and walked out to look for Murong Gu and Murong Yin. Uncle Yin, no matter who it is, don't let them come near the Murong mansion. Murong Gu said loudly. All shadow guards, listen up. Kill anyone who trespasses into the Murong mansion. All ghost guards, listen up. Occupy all the high points within 2,000 meters of the Murong mansion. If you find anything unusual, kill them immediately. 3 consecutive orders. Murong Gu had never been so excited in all these years. This was because he heard that voice just now. It was his son's voice. It had been 6 years. A whole 6 years. Chapter 63. Brother, you saved my life. My life is yours now. Murong Long whispered to Guopai. who was meditating. After about an hour, Guopai opened his eyes and stood up slowly. He thought to himself, "It's better not to go against the heavens and steal my life." "Brother bad guy, do you have any more? Give me one more. How many pills do you have?" "I'm only one step away from the innate realm," Morong Fei said loudly. "Keep your voice down. An innate master who's not even 20 years old. Be careful, the tallest tree in the forest will be destroyed by the wind," Guopai said with a smile. He turned to look at Murong Long and said, "Brother-in-law, use your inner strength. Feel if your body is fully recovered." "Brother-in-law? Haha, Wei Wei has good taste." "Thank you," Murong Long said with a smile. "Let's go. Your problem has been solved, but your poisoning is not. Let's go eat." After saying that, Guopai walked out of the room. There were many people in the room. A few old men stood beside Morongu. Their eyes were bright, and it was obvious that they were not far from the innate realm. "Master," Murong Fei called out to one of the old men with a smile. "Little Fei, good, very good." The moment the old man's eyes fell on Murong Fei, he said happily, his disciple was almost at the same level as him. The successor of the Octane Blast, the successor of the seven-sided Mantis Fist, and the successor of the seven-injuring fist. "Father-in-law, you're quite impressive." Guopao looked at Murongu and said with a smile. He did not care about the others and sat down beside Murong Wei Wei. Murongu had not recovered from a shock when Guopao addressed him as father-in-law, but Murong Wei Wei's face was already red. "Aha, I'm happy today. Sit down, everyone." Murongu looked at the crowd and said with a smile, "Little Bad, thank you for being able to sit at the same table as father and son today," Murongu said loudly without being pretentious. "Murong Long, your life was saved by Guopai. You should thank him properly." "Dad, I know." Murong Long nodded gently. Murong Wei Wei looked at her brother with a smile. No one could understand the happiness in her heart. They grew up together, and this feeling was indescribable. "Everyone is here. Let's serve the dishes." Guopai looked at Meng Zhuang and said with a smile. Meng Zhuang nodded lightly. Soon, the table was filled with all kinds of delicacies. Primordial Kaiyuan pork, Inyang water chestnut, Laotan chicken cucumber, 9 drunk peanuts, Sanyang Kaidai dog, 2 color secret beans, 1,000 burrow rabbit meat, old go celery, secret salted crucian carp, running horse oil oats, ground dragon fried foie gras, phoenix dance egg flour. Guopai looked at the dishes on the table and said with a smile, Meng Zhuang, it doesn't seem right to arrange the dishes like this. After saying that, Guopai reached out and changed the position of the dishes on the table. These are my favorite dishes. Thank you, Uncle Meng. Murong Long looked at the delicious dishes on the table and felt touched. He had been in a coma for 6 years, but the chef at home still remembered his taste buds. You are all seniors in the Jianghu. Let's eat. Guopai did not say much and just said with a smile, Master, I'm guilty. Just as the few of them were about to take the dishes, Meng Zhuang knelt on the ground and said loudly, Little you have sharp eyes. I thought that no one would find out what I did. I'm guilty. Speak. Morongu narrowed his eyes and looked at Meng Zhuang. The 12 main ingredients on the table are made according to the time in yin and yang. Normally, yin and yang should be in harmony and the time should be relative. However, young master's dishes were the exact opposite. Meng Zhuang lowered his head and said softly, Who? Morongu asked. It's... Before Meng Zhuang could say anything, Murong Yin, who was beside him, reached out and grabbed Meng Zhuang's head. Just as he was about to exert force, Guopai reached out and grabbed Murong Yin's wrist. Murong Yin could no longer exert force. Master Yin, are you trying to silence him? Guopai narrowed his eyes and looked at the old man in front of him with a smile. I know. Little bad. Let him go. Murongu looked as if he had aged a few years. He looked at Murong Yin and slowly closed his eyes. Master, Murong Yin is guilty. Murong Yin knelt beside Meng Zhuang and said in a hoarse voice, It's Nangong Qian, right? Murongu said helplessly, Everyone get up. It's a joyous occasion that Xiaolong can recover today. We won't kill anyone today. Meng Zhuang stood up and rearranged the order of the dishes on the table. He also served the other 12 dishes that he had prepared earlier. However, he did not dare to look at Murong long. That useless grandson of mine owes more than 100 million yuan overseas. I didn't dare to tell you. I was the one who brought Meng Zhuang into the Murong family. At that time, Nangang Yu only said that he would let a friend of his enter the Murong family, and he would repay my grandson's debt. I didn't expect that Xiaolong would be harmed. Murong, Yin said softly. Let's eat. Murong Gu said with a smile. I've made a fool of myself. Haha. Ah Gu, congratulations on Xiaolong's recovery. However, he doesn't need the three of us to protect him anymore. This little you beside him is an expert. Xiao Yuntian, the 138th successor of the Baji Bens, said with a smile. Right? I wonder how little you saw through us. Wang Tianluo, the successor of the seven-sided mantis fist, asked with a smile. I wonder who little you's master is. There are some things that I can't tell you. However, since you are my father-in-law's guests, I will think of a way to cure your hidden illnesses. Let's eat. Since everything is settled, let's eat first. Guopai smiled and did not care about the others. After picking up some food from Murong Weiwei, he started eating as well. Aha, little you is a true man. We old men thank you in advance. The three of them said with a smile. Everyone who practiced martial arts had hidden illnesses, especially Xie Yukui, who practiced the fists of 7 injures. When he practiced the fists of 7 injures, he would injure all 7. The human body contained the qi of yin and yang, as well as the 5 elements of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Therefore, the so-called 7 injures was to first injure oneself before injuring others. He had been tormented by his hidden illness every day. Today, he finally saw the hope of being cured. How could he not be happy? Just as the table was eating happily, a black shadow flew to Murong Gu's side and whispered a few words into his ear. Murong Gu's face instantly darkened. Agu, what's wrong? Is someone here to cause trouble? Wang Tianluo looked at Murong Gu and asked with a smile. Nangang Qian is here. Murong Gu said without hiding anything. You guys continue eating. I want to see what she's up to today. I'm already 60% full. Let's go and have a look. Guopai stood up with a smile. He wanted to see what kind of person the eldest daughter of the Nangang family was. What? Do I have to wait for you to report that I'm here to look for Murong Gu? Get out of my way if you don't want to die. As she spoke, a woman in her 30s led a group of people into the Murong family's courtyard. Chapter 64. Bam! 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 A middle-aged man beside Nangang Qian took a step forward and slapped 3 of Murong Gu's shadow guards to the ground. A Shaolin disciple. Not bad. Guopai looked at the middle-aged man and smiled. Little Fei, go and spar with him. His weakness is on his back. Little you, that man is called Zhao Jinshan. Even I don't dare to be careless with his 8 trigrams palm. Little Fei might be in danger. Xiao Yuntian said softly. Let him go. Let him get used to his new body. It's normal for a martial artist to get hurt. Haha, Guopai said with a smile. Murong Fei looked at his master and leaped in front of Zhao Jinshan. Brat, get out of here if you don't want to die. Zhao Jinshan said loudly when he saw that it was just a young man. Do you think you could just barge into the Murong family? Third Aunt Nangang, you can go in. These people can wait outside. Murong Fei looked at Nangang Qian and said with a smile. Little brat, get out of here. Don't think that I won't beat you just because you're from the Murong family. Nangang Qian looked at Murong Fei and said, Since Third Aunt Nangang says so, then let him beat me. Murong Fei said in an irritating tone, But I don't know if he can beat me. It's fine as long as he doesn't die. The Murong family is powerful now. Even a junior dares to talk to me like that. Nangang Qian said loudly with a red face. 8 trigrams palm, Xiao Yuntian's disciple. No wonder you're so arrogant. But if you can't do it, even your master might not be able to do it. Zhao Jinshan said loudly. I'll teach you how to behave on behalf of your master. Hairs growing out of your navel and acting tough. After Murong Fei finished speaking, he leaped and directly leaned against Zhao Jinshan. Bang! Murong Fei's fist landed on Zhao Jinshan's face. Zhao Jinshan faintly smiled and used his palm to meet Murong Fei's fist. However, as soon as they came into contact, Zhao Jinshan immediately regretted it. He was afraid that his palm would cripple Murong Fei, so he had only used 30% of his strength. However, Murong Fei was treating Zhao Jinshan as a real opponent. His fist was full of strength. Although they had not stepped into the Xiantian realm, their strength was similar. Zhao Jinshan was instantly knocked down by Murong Fei's fist and spat out a mouthful of blood. Silver Spear Candlehead, I thought you were some kind of expert, but you're only SOSO. Murong Fei took 3 steps back. Even though he knew that he had taken advantage of the situation, he did not care about the other party's feelings. Pooh! Zhao Jinshan spat out a mouthful of blood. If he had lost to Xiao Yuntian, it would have been fine. However, he had been knocked down by Xiao Yuntian's disciple with a single punch. He had lost all his face. The most hateful thing was that this stinking brat didn't realize that he had held back in fear of injuring him. Zhao Jinshan was so angry that he fainted. Third Ant Nangong, I think you should go in by yourself. Why don't you let the people behind you fight with me? Murong Fei was bursting with confidence. He did not care if he could beat the people behind him as he laughed and said, Stinking brat, can't you see that Jinshan was holding back just now? I'll fight you. As soon as the voice fell, an old man behind Nangong Qian jumped up and landed in front of Murong Fei. An expert of Xingyi fist, I'm afraid that little Fei will be at a disadvantage this time, Guopai said with a smile. Tiger and crane dual form fist, Huang Deshang. This person has always been in Hong Kong. Why would he come to the mainland? Xiao Yuntian said softly. The 3 of you, let's go and take a look. It's fine if little Fei is at a disadvantage. However, since this is the Murong family's residence, and the few of you are also guests of the Murong family, we can't just watch them run amok. Guopai's words pulled the 3 martial arts masters together with him. There were some things that were inconvenient for him to do, so it was more appropriate for them to do it. Cough, cough, cough. The time you've been practicing martial arts is older than this young master's age. Your strength is only SOSO. If this young master didn't fight with that surname Zhao, it's hard to say who would win. Murong Fei and Huang Deshang fought more than 30 rounds. In the end, Murong Fei lost because of his lack of experience. However, even though he lost, he still scolded a few words, causing Huang Deshang's face to turn ashen. Huang Deshang, what's the big deal about winning against this junior? Let's fight. Xiao Yuntian stepped forward and said loudly, Little Fei, back off. Watch carefully. Octane Blast is not used like that. After speaking, Xiao Yuntian attacked Huang Deshang. Don't just stand there. The 2 of you, come and fight with me. Xie Yukue said loudly. If Guopai could bring Murong Long back to life, then his hidden illness would not be a problem. Since the other party had agreed to help him, then it was only natural for him to be the fighter. He immediately faced the 2 people behind Nangong Qian. Everyone stop. Murong Gu walked over from behind. Murong Wei Wei and Murong Long stood on either side of him. Nangong Qian, why are you so interested? What are you doing here with such great fanfare? Could it be that you want to be the 3rd young mistress of the Murong family? Murong Gu looked at Nangong Qian and asked loudly, Murong Gu, let my uncle go. I'll leave immediately. Nangong Qian said loudly. Then, her gaze fell on Murong Long. No wonder your face is so red today. It turns out that your bastard child has recovered. However, you must watch carefully. Who knows when he will lie down forever and never get up again. Nangong Qian, take your men and get lost. I'm in a good mood today. I said that I won't kill anyone today, but that doesn't mean that I won't beat anyone up. Murong Gu said loudly. Let him go. We'll leave immediately. Nangong Qian said loudly. Why are you still letting him go? He's already dead. Father-in-law, why are you still talking to her? If she wants him, just give him to her. Isn't the corpse in the back garden unburied? Guopai said loudly, as if he wanted to see the world in chaos. Is this brat telling the truth? Nangong Qian asked with her eyes wide open. What do you mean by this brat? I really don't know how to address you. Guopai looked at Nangong Qian and said loudly, I'm the one who blew his head open. If he can still come back to life, then it'll be a miracle. If there's nothing else, just take him away and get lost. Okay, okay, okay. Nan Gongqian repeated the word okay 3 times. In all her life, no one had dared to talk to her like that. Moreover, he was a junior. He called you father-in-law. Needless to say, he's that little b asterisk tch's man. All right, just you wait. I don't dare to deal with people with the surname Nangong, but I want this brat's life. Slap. Before anyone could see it clearly, 5 fingerprints had already appeared on Nan Gongqian's face. This is the consequence of having a foul mouth. If you want to deal with me, then just use whatever means you have. If your mouth is still foul, then it won't be this slap next time. Eldest young mistress, the person who hit you just now has already reached the Xiantian realm. We're no match for him. Nan Gongqian was just about to say something when an old man who had been silent all this while pulled her back. Morongu, you'll regret what you did today. Let's go. After saying that, Nan Gongqian led her men and walked towards the Nangong family. Chapter 65. Little bad guy, you were too impulsive this time. Morongu shook his head and said softly as he watched Nan Gongqian leave. Father-in-law, did you feel bad about the slap just now? Ha! Guopai laughed as he walked into the room. Wei Wei, brother Long, was that slap powerful? Bad guy brother, you were too impulsive just now. That woman from the Nangong family will not let you off easily. Morong Wei Wei said with a hint of worry. Where my heart goes, where my life goes. I hit them when I want to. I don't have time to think so much. Guopai said with a smile. Don't worry. If they want revenge, let them come. Haha, brother-in-law is awesome. Morong Long said with a laugh. Morong Wei Wei's face turned red again when she heard the word brother-in-law. Brother Long, you haven't completely absorbed the medicinal effect of the pill I gave you. Once you finish absorbing it, you should be able to reach the Xiantian realm. Study this Tai Chi ancient scripture well. How much you can comprehend will depend on your own comprehension. Guopai said as he handed over a small handwritten book to Morong Long. Thank you for your help just now. I have already thought of a way to cure your hidden injuries. However, you'll need to provide the medicinal ingredients yourselves. Guopai said with a smile. I will write down the medicinal ingredients for you in a while. Ask Xiao Fei to send them to this place. I will send someone to bring them to my master. Guopai told the 3 of them the address of his old house. Little you, don't worry. The medicinal ingredients will definitely be delivered within 7 days. The 3 of them said happily. Little you, don't worry about the Nangong family. In Wu Castle, if they want to show off their power, they will have to ask for our permission first. The 3 of you are from the Jianghu, so it's best that you don't get involved in worldly affairs. This is the cycle of nature. Getting too involved in these matters will only bring you harm in the future. If the Nangong family wants to come, then let them come. I'll let them know what pain and regret is. Guopai said fiercely. Brother-in-law, we'll return to school in a while. You just recovered, so you should know better than me what's going on in your body. The Xiantian realm is already considered a real warrior. Don't use force to hurt others. Otherwise, you'll be plagued by bad karma in the future, and it'll be difficult for you to break through again, Guopai said with a smile. Got it. I've already discussed it with my father. I'll secretly send some ghost guards to protect you and Wei Wei. Don't refuse. Sometimes it's easier to dodge a spear in the open than a stab in the dark, Morong Long said with a smile. Brother bad guy, thank you. The next morning, Morong Wei Wei and Guopai were preparing to return to school. On the way back, Morong Wei Wei said to Guopai with a smile. However, the 2 of them didn't know that something big had happened at the high school affiliated to Takashi University yesterday. Everyone, my name is Chong Xiaoyu. You can call me Yuer. I'm a new student of Class 1. Please take care of me in the future. Lin Shuang had been waiting for her new classmate, Chong Xiaoyu, to arrive early in the morning. However, Lin Shuang was stunned the moment she saw Chong Xiaoyu. She was beautiful. Yes, she was beautiful. Yes, she had a good temperament. Yes, she had a good figure. Yes, she had a good family background. Yes, she was the heir of a big family in the United States. In Li Xuanyu's words, God had given her everything that could be given to this girl. Beauty, do you have a boyfriend? If you don't, I can help you for a while. I don't know how to eat, drink, gamble, and smoke, a boy in class once said loudly to Chang Xiaoyu. Bad guy isn't here. A beauty like this should belong to me. Qian Duo. She just said that she wanted me to take care of her. Didn't she want me to take care of her? Qian Duo blinked his eyes reluctantly and looked straight at Chang Xiaoyu. She's so beautiful. Her looks are comparable to Muron Weiwei's. Her figure is definitely better than Muron Weiwei's. Her figure is even comparable to Teacher Lin's. A male student in the back opened his eyes wide and whispered. What surprised Lin Shuang the most was not the boys' behavior, but the girls. None of the girls in the class said anything to the girl in front of her. Everyone showed enough enthusiasm for her. Xiaoyu, find a seat and sit down. Class will start soon. Lin Shuang said to Chang Xiaoyu with a smile. Yu looked around the classroom and walked towards Qian Duo with a joking expression. She sat directly in front of Qian Duo in Guopai's seat. Beauty, this seat is taken. It's just that she took leave and didn't come. You can't sit here. Qian Duo looked at Yu and said with a smile. Then I'll sit inside. With that, Yu sat a little further inside. Inside is my sister-in-law's seat. She also took leave. You can't sit there either. Qian Duo whispered. Then I don't know if there's anyone next to you. I'll sit next to you. Yu looked at the boy in front of her and said with a smile. Although there was only a little immortal power left, she could feel that the body of the boy in front of her had been nourished by elixirs. Although the elixirs were not very good, they were definitely not something that should exist in the lower realm. This person must be related to the mind reading True Lord. There's no one here. There's no one here. You can sit inside. Qian Duo said with a smile. If there's no one inside, then can you sit inside? I like to sit outside. Yu looked at Qian Duo and said with a smile. Okay. I'll sit inside. You sit outside. Qian Duo said with a smile. He did not see Xue Daju standing next to him. Thank you. With that, Yu sat on Qian Duo's seat. Brother Duo, can you come out first? I want to go back to my seat. Before Qian Duo's seat was warm, a rough voice sounded in his ear. That's right, the seat he was sitting on was Xue Daju's. Daju, go find another place to sit. Give this seat to me. Qian Duo said with a thick face. No, Daju said loudly. 1 month's worth of food. I'll satisfy you. Qian Duo whispered. No need. I don't lack money. I also don't lack food. In a few days, Bad Guy will lead the affiliated high school to take first place in the literature competition. I'll have tens of millions. I don't lack money. Xue Daju said with a smile. I'll help you deal with Shanbai Ro. Qian Duo said loudly. That's even more unnecessary. I've already dealt with her. With that, Xue Daju took out his phone. On the screen was a picture of Xue Daju hugging Shanbai Ro. Fuck, you already have a girlfriend. Why are you still sitting here? Qian Duo said with his eyes wide open. I just want to sit closer to Bad Guy. Xue Daju said loudly. Brother Duo, if you don't leave, I'll call senior sister Hu. At that time, you won't be able to bear the consequences. Qian Duo glared fiercely at Xue Daju and walked out helplessly. Xue Daju sat down on a stool and looked at Yu. Yu also stared at the big guy in front of her who didn't look like a student at all. Chapter 66. Hello, my name is Xue Daju. Xue Daju said and stretched out his big hand. Chang Xiaoyu. Right at the moment when Yu's little hand touched Xue Daju's palm, a terrifying sense of power shrouded Yu's body. The senior Magus bloodline, that's right, this big guy actually had the senior Magus bloodline. Daju, don't look at me like that. You just said that you have a girlfriend. Xue Daju's eyes never left Yu for almost the whole class. In fact, all the students in the first class, including the teacher, didn't know how they passed the first chemistry class. Sorry, I didn't mean it, but I always feel a little uncomfortable when you sit next to me. I'll go sit at the back next class. Comfortable? How could it be comfortable? Yu was a jade rabbit in the heaven. If you count from the bloodline, she also has the blood of the Great Witch. However, the blood of the Great Witch in you, Er's body has been awakened, so naturally, it will put pressure on Shuedaju. Then you go sit at the back. I also feel uncomfortable when you sit next to me. Yu said with a smile. Daju ran away. Yu, let's go to the cafeteria to eat together. Today is my treat. At the end of the last class in the morning, Qian Duo walked to you, and said with a smile. If you're not afraid of your girlfriend being angry, then I can promise you. I also have something to ask you. Yu said with a smile. The ranking list of beauties in the affiliated high school is in turmoil again. A new goddess in the first year of high school appears. On the forum, a guy named Forum by Xiaoxing posted Yu's photo on the forum. Suddenly, the whole forum was boiling. I admire the OP's Photoshop ability. He can actually Photoshop such a perfect woman. If the OP can bring the real person to see me, I will eat shit. Passerby A occupied the first floor. Land's house sesame seed cake. Appraisal complete. Passerby B continued to post. It has been appraised. The OP's Photoshop is undoubtedly a Martian, because there is no such beautiful woman on Earth. Passerby C said. A, B, and C are right. They all say that the fifth floor has an accurate answer. Let's listen to what the fifth floor has to say. A passerby occupying the fourth floor said, A, B, C, D are all idiots. This female classmate is from our class. She has already followed our former forum moderator, Qian Duo, Qian Dada, to the cafeteria to eat. In addition, the first floor prepared to eat shit. A student from class 1 replied with his mobile phone on the fifth floor. Siena's cafeteria is full. The goddess has appeared. The first floor has been searched, and the rice has been prepared. All affiliated high students, please take note. Someone from 9th High School is handling the transfer procedures. To protect the goddess of affiliated high school, we will reject any transfer students. The goddess is Guo Pai's girlfriend. The onlookers can leave now. A new topic appeared on the forum and was pinned to the top. At this time, our classmate Su Yi called Guo Pai from her dormitory. Xiao Yezi, you haven't seen your brother recently. Do you miss your brother? Guo Pai and Murong Weiwei were in the car, rushing to school. When they saw that it was Su Yi calling, Guo Pai did not avoid it and directly picked it up. Murong Weiwei, who was next to him, was full of smiles. Big bad guy, you're good. She has already come to our doorstep, but you're still wandering outside. When will you come back? Xiaoxi is waiting for your explanation. You better make up a good lie, or I will make sure you float in the river behind affiliated high school's Western cafeteria and never be reincarnated. Suyi said loudly. Xiao Yezi, what are you talking about? If you want to ask, ask. It has nothing to do with me. Guo Pai heard Tang, she say, with a smile on the other end of the phone. Who came to our doorstep? Is it a beauty? Her breasts are more majestic than yours, and she is more beautiful than Wei Wei. Her temper is better than Xiao Shi's, and her temperament is far better than Yu's. Guo Pai said with a smile. Scoundrel, so the rumors on the forums are true. You're really something, you big scoundrel. When did you hook up with such a vixen? Just you wait. We'll teach you a lesson when we get back, Su Yi said loudly into the phone. What are you talking about? I have been with Wei Wei for the past few days. What vixen have I hooked up with? Guo Pai was stunned and asked loudly. Although Big Brother is lecherous, we don't hook up with every good-looking woman. You still don't admit it? Look for yourself. Do you know this woman? Su Yi said as she sent Yu's photo to Guo Pai. Chong Xiaoyu. She went to register. Guo Pai said subconsciously. You still say you don't know? You called her name directly. You better think about how to explain it on the way back. Your little brother, Qian Duo, is now eating with her in the cafeteria. Su Yi hung up the phone. What's wrong, Big Brother bad guy? Did something happen? Murong Weiwei looked at Guo Pai's confused face and asked in a low voice. It's nothing. A very interesting person went to our school. She seems to be in the same class as us, Guo Pai said with a smile. Use your phone to go to the forum and have a look. She is so beautiful. Murong Weiwei only glanced at the photo pinned to the top of the forum and said from the bottom of her heart, It is too beautiful. It is unreal. Guo Pai said with a smile. Weiwei, what if this woman also fell in love with me? Would you be jealous? How could I be jealous? If I was jealous, I would have died long ago. Xiao Shi, Yu, Xiao Yezi, Senior Lingling, you still want to flirt with teacher Lin Xuan. Do you think I don't know? Umph, I get angry just thinking about it, Murong Weiwei said with a smile. Cough, cough, cough. Now that you mention it, it seems that your husband has hooked up with many women. But I am sincere to you. Hee hee, let's go back and see what kind of vixen can make our beautiful Weiwei gasp in amazement. She is so beautiful, Guopai said with a smile. Big brother duo, you said that Guopai already has several girlfriends. Is that true? Can these girls get along well? Ewer said with a smile. That is why I, bad guy, am so awesome. My sisters-in-law get along very well. But there is one thing that no one else knows. Only I know, Qian Duo said with a wretched expression. What is it? Big brother duo, can you tell me about it? Ewer asked with a smile. Bad guy is a fast shooter. When I first met bad guy, he was just an embroidered pillow who paid the bill for 1, 2, 3, Qian Duo said in a low voice. Cough, cough, cough. Is that true? When I met Guopai, he was not like this, Ewer said casually. Little sister, did you really know bad guy before? Did you really transfer to our school this time to find bad guy? Qian Duo's eyes widened. The beauty in front of him was actually looking for his boss, Guopai. I'm looking for him. I don't know if he still dares to recognize me, Yu said with a smile as she looked into the distance. Chapter 67. I'll give bad guy a call and see when he'll be back. Qian Duo froze for a moment and then said to Ewer with a smile. Qian Duo, you must be in a good mood to have dinner with a beauty. Guopai answered Qian Duo's call and said with a smile. Bad guy, you're amazing. She's already at your doorstep and you're still so calm. Qian Duo whispered. Bad guy, this beauty is here for you. Think about it. Did you offend Sister Yu? Why do I feel like she's here to pick a fight? Qian Duo had already gotten up and walked to a place a little further away from Ewer and whispered, I'll be back to school in the afternoon. Let's talk when we meet. Guopai said with a smile and then hung up the phone. Hey, bad guy. Qian Duo still wanted to say something, but the other side had already hung up. Brother Duo, if there's nothing else, I'll go back to the dormitory first. Guopai just said that he'll be back in the afternoon. We'll know when we meet in the afternoon. After that, Ewer stood up and walked toward the dormitory. She heard what I said on the phone from so far away. Could it be rabbit ears? Qian Duo looked at Ewer's back with a blank face and whispered, Sister Ewer, you're back. The telekinesis control you taught me is indeed much better than what my master taught me. Can you teach me something else? Nangong Lingma saw Ewer coming and said with a smile, Little girl, how many people are there in the China Special Ability Group? How strong are they? Ewer sat on the sofa, and a good-looking radish appeared in her hand at some point. She ate it bite by bite. I don't know exactly how many people there are, but in less than a year, I'll have to participate in the Special Ability Martial Arts competition. By then, I'll know how many Special Ability users there are, Nangong Lingma whispered. You know Murong Weiwei, didn't Guopai give you any medicinal pills? Ewer looked at Nangong Lingma and asked with a smile. I've only drunk his good wine. He also has special abilities, but he's not registered in the Special Abilities group. This bad guy will get into trouble sooner or later. If he uses his special abilities recklessly, the Special Abilities group will find him sooner or later, Nangong Lingma whispered. Sister Ewer, you have superpowers too. You probably didn't register with the superpowers group, did you? Guopai and I are fellow disciples of the same sect. Our sect is not restricted by the Special Ability group, Ewer said with a smile. She really liked the little girl in front of her. But your senior brother is really not that good. He's extremely lecherous and unfaithful, Nangong Lingma said with a pout. Ha, you're right. Otherwise, Master wouldn't have expelled him. Ewer laughed like a flower, her whole body trembling. I've been expelled from a sect. How shameful, Nangong Lingma said with a pout. What was the most embarrassing thing in Wu Xiu's world? Wasn't it being expelled from the sect? Haha, it's really embarrassing, but it seems like he's living quite comfortably now, Ewer said with a smile. He has a special kind of wine on him. It's very delicious. Sister, do you have that kind of wine too? I want to drink it. Nangong Lingma said with a pout. I'm afraid that he's the only one who has that wine, because he's the only one in the entire sect who can brew it. This is also why he's still so popular even after being expelled from the sect. As his junior sister, I still have to look for him, haha. Ewer said with a smile, but when I see him, I'll ask him for some of it so that you can drink as much as you want. Then it's settled. I'll call Sister Wei Wei. The big bad guy is with Sister Wei Wei. Let's see when they'll come back. Nangong Lingma said happily. Lingma, what's the matter? Why did you suddenly call me? Murong Wei Wei saw that it was Nangong Lingma's phone call and was shocked. It was the first time that this little girl called her. Hee, Sister Wei Wei, are you with that big bad guy? Nangong Lingma said loudly. Little girl, what's wrong? You've learned how to fall in love at such a young age? Do you miss your brother? Guopai on the other side of the phone heard Nangong Lingma's voice and said loudly into the phone from a distance. Big bad guy, a guy who's been expelled from the sect, is still so arrogant. Let me tell you, I know all about you now. When are you coming back? Your junior sister is with me. Nangong Lingma said loudly. Lingma, what junior sister? Bad guy brother, and I will be arriving at school soon. What do you want to eat for lunch? Let's eat together later. Murong Wei Wei said with a smile. Okay. Let's meet and talk. I'll take Sister Yu to the cafeteria first. You can come to the cafeteria before you come to school. Nangong Lingma said and hung up the phone. Chang Xiaoyu is with little Lingma now in our dormitory. Murong Wei Wei looked at Guopai and said, Expelled from the sect? My junior sister? Haha, interesting. I want to see who this girl is more and more now. Guopai said with a smile. Ez, bad guy brother called and said that he will be arriving at school soon. He wants us to go to Master Lu's place and have lunch together. Tang Shi looked at Su Yi and said with a smile. You can go if you want. This bastard, it's only been a few days since he started school. Look at him. He's already full of women. Su Yi pouted. Are you jealous? I, the eldest daughter-in-law, haven't even spoken yet. Why are you, a servant in bed, jealous? Tang Shi said with a smile. Shameless. Eldest daughter-in-law. Your eldest daughter-in-law is about to be banished to the cold palace. You're not anxious at all, Su Yi said with a pout. It's fine if you don't want to go. I'll call Yu Yu and Sister Ling Ling. Bad guy brother said that there's enough alcohol today. Tang Shi dialed Yu Yu's number. Go, I have to go. I want to see what this new little vixen is capable of. Su Yi said loudly. Ling Ling, who's calling? Sun Ling Ling, who was helping Lin Shuang in the office, blushed when she received Tang Shi's call. Tang, she was Guopai's eldest daughter-in-law. She felt like a mistress that was caught by the eldest family. Lin Shuang looked at Sun Ling Ling, who was uncomfortable, and asked with a smile. Guopai is back. Tang, she asked me to go over for lunch. Sun Ling Ling said unnaturally. I'll go too. This big bad guy hasn't been in class for so long. The finals are coming soon. I have to go and talk to him. Lin Shuang said loudly. Before Guopai and Murong Wei Wei arrived at school, the school forum exploded again. New and old school beauties gathered at Sixth Brothers Restaurant. A war is about to break out. If the paparazzi saw these photos, they would probably hunt down the person who took the photos. He was an expert, an absolute expert. This young man would become the top paparazzi sooner or later. Brother Duo, this by Xiaoxing on the forum is even fiercer than you were. Look at the clarity of the photos. He's an expert. Qian Duo, who was still in the classroom, suddenly received a call from a second-year student. He couldn't help but turn on his computer. Damn, is there a fire in the backyard? No, I have to go and take a look. Qian Duo didn't care about the computer and ran straight to the restaurant. Chapter 68. When Tang Shi and Su Yi arrived at the restaurant, they saw Nangong Lingma ordering dishes and asked with a smile, Lingma, are you here to eat? Yes, Sister Xiao Shi. Sister Wei Wei will be here soon. I'll order first and wait for her, Nangong Lingma said with a smile. Bad guy asked us to wait for him here. Are we together? Brother Bad Guy and Wei Wei are together. I guess we'll have to eat together then. Tang, she said with a smile. Yes, we should have to eat together. Wait a minute, I'll ask Master Lu to change a bigger table. Nangong Lingma ran inside and asked for Xuanza to change a bigger table. Hello, my name is Chong Xiaoyu. I'm a freshman at Affiliated High. When Tang Shi, Su Yi, and Yu Yu appeared in the big private room together, everyone saw a beautiful girl sitting in the host seat. She stood up naturally and gracefully to greet everyone. Xiao Shi, is Big Bad Guy here? Sun Ling Ling asked loudly into the room before she saw anyone. You guys are so fast. You're all here. Chong Xiaoyu, the goddess of Affiliated High? Sun Ling Ling's eyes fell on you. As soon as she walked into the private room. Dressed in white, Yu could perfectly blend in with the environment in the warm spring of May in Wu Castle. She made people feel comfortable no matter where she was. Sister Lingling, although I've only been here for 2 days, I've heard of your name. Are you talking about the goddess of Affiliated High? Are you talking about me? Are you talking about yourself? Or are you talking about all the sisters here? Yu stood up and said with a smile. You know Wu Pai too? Sun Ling Ling sat beside you, and asked in a low voice. More than that, Sister Yu is Big Bad Guy's junior sister. She's his childhood sweetheart, Nangong Ling Ma said loudly, as if he wanted to see the world in chaos. Who's my junior sister, little Ling Ma? Just as Nangong Ling Ma finished speaking, Guo Pai pulled Murong Weiwei with one hand and held a wine gourd with the other into the private room. His gaze first fell on Nangong Ling Ma. Then he looked unnaturally at Yu. Clatter. The wine gourd in his hand fell to the ground. Guo Pai's brain completely short-circuited. Senior brother, what's wrong? It's only been a few days since you left the sect. Don't you recognize me? Yu smiled and asked Guo Pai. Why are you here? Guo Pai said with his eyes wide open. No wonder he had an indescribable feeling when he first saw Yu's file. Isn't this the younger version of the little rabbit from the Moon Palace who was about to have an affair with me back then? Look at what you're saying, senior brother. If you can come, why can't I? Yu said with a smile. Sit here. I have a lot of things to ask you. Guo Pai slowly walked to Yu's side and sat down. Seeing that everyone at the table was looking at the two of them, he couldn't help but cast his mind reading technique on Yu. He had to know what this little girl wanted to do. Mind reading exalted immortal. You're already in the lower realm. Are you still playing this game? Aren't you afraid that the old Jade Emperor will punish you? A voice transmission entered Guo Pai's ears. Who else could it be other than you, You're not spouting nonsense, are you? Guo Pai looked at you, and sent a voice transmission. What nonsense are you spouting? Look at what you're saying. I'm now called Chong Xiaoyu and Guo Pai. We're now brother and sister. How you're going to tell your little wives is up to you. Also, remember one thing. When I come to the human realm, no matter how much of a womanizer you are, I'm going to make it big. Yu looked at him and said, Make it big. Guo Pai immediately became happy when he heard Yu's last 2 words. If I want to hook up with a fairy in the heavenly court, I have to report it step by step. Now, the fairy is coming to find me. Big sister you big baddie. Is there something that you can't say in front of everyone? Although I can't understand your voice transmission, I still have superpowers. You guys are affecting my body greatly. Nangong Ling Ma, who was sitting beside Yu, said loudly. Ahem, little girl, why would I send a sound transmission to her? I'll go and see how the dishes are going. After Guo Pai finished speaking, he jumped directly to the door and ran out. Little Yu, your luck with women is quite good. Your lineup is getting bigger and bigger. After a few minutes, Guo Pai and Ren Xuanza walked in together. Look at what Sixth Master said. What do you mean my lineup is getting bigger and bigger? In a few days, I'll send you some wild ginseng. You can put it in when you cook for us. Guo Pai said with a smile. Just now, I saw that your new radishes are quite juicy. Get the kitchen to wash them. Make sure they're clean. No need. I have my own radishes. After Yu said that, a carrot appeared in her hand. She took a bite. It was really crispy. Cough, cough. Junior sister, you still like to eat this. Guo Pai looked at the carrot in Yu's hand with a black face. Seductress. She's really a seductress. Look at her face, look at her figure, and look at her expression. She's definitely a seductress. Little she you can't keep your position as the first wife. Su Yi whispered in Tang Shi's ear. What are you talking about? Tang Shi said with a red face. It was fine if the two of them were talking in the dormitory, but now there were so many people. Although Su Ye's voice wasn't loud, Yer was already looking at her. Let's drink, let's drink. There's enough alcohol today. Guopai also heard Su Ye's words and said with a trace of awkwardness. Since Yer was here, the position of the first wife would definitely be hers. However, it didn't matter. This was the human world. Yer couldn't do anything to his other wives. The meal was very enjoyable. Guopai wasn't stingy this time. Each of them drank more than half a kilogram of wine. None of them got drunk. Everyone chatted and laughed. They all asked about Guopai and Yer's sect. Guopai was also good at bluffing. He told them a lot of extravagant stories, causing them to be intoxicated. Big Meanie, I really don't understand why Big Sister Yer would like you. Your sect should have a lot of young talents. She actually left her sect for you. Sigh. Big Sister Yer, you'll definitely regret it. Nangong Lima looked at the two of them and whispered, Little girl, when you grow up, you'll also like a promising young man like me. Guopai said shamelessly. Student Guopai, last time you said that you would treat me when you came back. When are you going to treat me? Lin Shuang looked at her student and said with a slightly red face. She didn't know if it was because of the wine or because she was shy. When I have time. Recently, I've been busy preparing for the wind battle. When the wind battle is over, I'll go and find my teacher. Guopai said with a naughty smile. After hearing Guopai's words, Sun Lingling's face flushed red. Big Meanie, you've only been in the human world for a few days. You actually had sex with a woman in the human world. From the very beginning, Yer had already discovered that Sun Lingling was no longer a virgin. The 19 Rakshasa body also gave him shock. However, from her expression just now, Yer had already guessed that the only person who dared to ask for the 19 Rakshasa body was this extremely lustful and audacious mind reading Sage Guopao. Chapter 69. Big Sister Yer, if you've already left your sect, I think it's best for you to go to the Imperial Capital and register at the Special Ability Department. That way, you'll have less trouble in the future, Nangong Lingma whispered to Yer as she had a good meal today. We just want to live the life of an ordinary person. We won't use our abilities casually, so the Special Ability Department won't do anything to us. Yer said with a smile. What a joke. Although she didn't have much immortal energy left, Guopai seemed to have plenty of immortal energy. He could refine pills in the lower realm, so why would he be afraid of the Special Ability Department? Big Sister, you can instinctively follow me to the Special Ability Martial Arts Tournament next year. You don't have to promise me now, because if I have the confidence to come back or win the tournament, I'll go by myself, Nangong Lingma said softly after looking into the distance and thinking for a long time. The martial arts tournament you mentioned, I'll go with you next year, regardless of whether you have the confidence or not. Before Yer could answer, Guopai had already stood beside them and said with a smile, Big scoundrel, are you serious? You're not joking with me, right? Nangong Lingma said softly with a trace of excitement. Guopai nodded lightly. These days, he had a rough understanding of the current situation in the human world. The only blind spot was the Special Ability Department. These people's exploration of the unknown was an important part of the heavenly Tao. Everyone left. The girls looked at Yer and Guopai standing together and suddenly felt that the two of them were very compatible. No one disturbed them. Even little Yezi, who had been fooling around, just glanced at them and left with Tang Shi. Why did you come to find me? Did the higher-ups agree? Guopai and Yer walked on a small path in the campus and asked softly, If I didn't come to find you, would I have waited for you to have a group of wives and concubines? Yer said with a smile. It was Big Sister who told me to come down and find you. The higher-ups don't know. Who is Fairy? I only heard Master Tai Bai talk about Fairy when he was drinking with him. He said that even if you offend the Jade Emperor, you shouldn't offend Fairy. Can you tell me why? Guopai asked softly. No, Yer said softly. But in the lower realm for 100 years, you can have some fun. Karma's retribution. How can I have some fun? Guopai shook his head. But in the mortal world, I still have a mortal power. How can I have fun? I... Sister asked me to tell you something. Do as you please. Even if the sky falls, it has nothing to do with you. Yuer said with a smile. Yes, I've been banished to the lower realm. Guopai said with a smile. Little Yuer, don't you want to know what I saw back then? I really saw a fairy taking a bath back then. Ha! Pervert, big pervert. You deserve to be banished to the mortal world. Yuer said with a red face. Of course, she knew that the light returning technique had landed on her back then. If it wasn't the drunk mind reading True Lord, who else could it be? Haha, I didn't see it clearly back then. Junior sister Yuer's wife. When will you let me have a good look again? Guopai said as he stared at Yuer lustfully without blinking. Okay, if you want to see it, why don't I look for you today? Yuer said as she winked at Guopai. Devil, I will take you sooner or later. After that, Guopai ran away as if he was escaping. When he was cultivating, Great Sage Sun told him that all things were Tao. He couldn't pick them at will before they were ripe. Otherwise, it would affect his merit. Ha! You ran fast this time, Yuer said with a laugh, which attracted a lot of people to stop. The days in the mortal world were indeed much better than in the heavens. Yuer taught Guopai some knowledge about supernatural abilities every day. When she wanted to go to class, she would go to class. Of course, most of the time, she would chat with Guopai in class or watch Guopai flirt with Murong Weiwei. Classmate Guopai, please come up and cooperate with this experiment. The biology teacher called Guopai to the podium. Knee-jerk reflex, a very simple experiment. As a result, the biology teacher was sent to the hospital. Not good. Something happened in the martial arts hall of the affiliated high school. It is said that some students from other schools came to challenge the martial arts hall. The affiliated high school has lost 3 games in a row. During the break, someone shouted in the corridor, "Brother bad guy, don't you like to watch the fun? Why don't you go and have a look?" Yuer said with a smile. Now she didn't call him senior brother, but began to call him brother bad guy, like Murong Weiwei and others. When I got up this morning, I felt something was wrong. It's better not to get involved in this kind of thing. Maybe these people who challenge the martial arts hall have an ulterior motive, and they came for me. Guopai said with a smile. Coming for you, isn't that what you want? Yuer said with a smile. Come on, Weiwei. Let's go and have a look together. Yuer said as she pulled Guopai and Murong Weiwei towards the martial arts hall. I thought it would be a real fight, but it turned out to be a small fight. Yuer looked at the 2 people in the ring for almost a minute and said with a pout, We have to watch the fight between Wu Gang and Yang Jian. When we go back, we will persuade Wu Gang to trouble Yang Jian. Doesn't your affiliated high school claim to be the best in martial arts? Kong Xian is dead. Is there no one else? Kong Xian's woman Murong Weiwei. Since Kong Xian is dead, it's better to go to number 37 high school with us. Haha. On the ring, a teenager who had just won laughed and said, Bad guy, I'm going to deal with that kid. Shuedu said as he was ready to rush to the ring. Daju, if you want to trouble Weiwei, it's better for me to go personally. What bullshit, gentlemen. Revenge is never too late. I never control myself. If there's a grudge, I'll settle it on the spot. Guopai said as he walked straight to the ring. Big brother who? This is the kid young Master Qin talked about. He's also the kid the 7 allied schools are preparing to deal with. A teenager whispered into the ear of the teenager on the ring. Hee, if I beat him to a pulp, not only will I get young Master Qin's 10 million, but the 7 allied schools will also owe me a big favor. Then I, Suhu, will be rich. The teenager thought to himself, It's one thing to curse me, but you even dare to curse my woman. You're looking to die. Guopai walked to the ring and said in a low voice, I know who you are. Wu Castle's 4 evils, 5 poisons. Isn't that young Master Guopai? Suhu said loudly, If you have the guts, let's sign a life or death contract. Don't go find Soldier King Li Yao to take revenge on me when I beat you up. You need Big Brother Yao to deal with someone like you. You really think too highly of yourself. Guopai said with a smile, If you want to die, then sign a life or death contract. The human world is so fun. There's actually someone who wants to sign a life or death contract with a deity. Although they were far away, Yer could still hear their conversation on the ring. She couldn't help but laugh. Chapter 70. What are you talking about? Muron Weiwei wanted to pull Guishao away, but in the end, she did not manage to do so. Instead, she heard Yer mumbling something. Nothing. That bastard dared to call out your name in the arena. He really doesn't know what's good for him. Let big bad guy take care of him, Yer said with a smile. Weiwei, you're here too. Someone said that bad big brother was going to fight to the death. Is that true? Is bad big brother okay? As the two of them were talking, Tang Shi and Su Yi ran over with their foreheads covered in sweat. Guopai, sign a life and death contract if you're a man. You can live or die in the arena, Suhu said loudly. I don't want to kill anyone. In the beginning, Guopao's killing intent had been aroused. However, he slowly suppressed it. Although he did not know how long he would stay in the lower realm and whether it would be useful for him to accumulate merits now, he still chose to punish rather than kill. Trash, coward, Suhu said loudly. I know who sent you guys. Stop wasting my time. All 8 of you, come at me together, Guopai said with a smile. Brothers, did you hear that? The 4th master of Wu Castle wants us to fight him together. So let's fight him together. Remember, since you didn't sign the life and death contract, let's give him a chance to vent his anger, Suhu said with a laugh. Guopao didn't look at Suhu this time. He turned his gaze and stared at a hidden corner of the martial arts gym. A cold smile appeared on his face. Qin Yulong, I won't kill you, but that 100 billion is mine. Qin Yulong, who was in the corner, suddenly felt cold all over. He unconsciously pressed down the brim of his cap. As long as he could cripple Guishuai, no matter what ranking the affiliated high school affiliated to Renmin University of China obtained, he would not be the one who led the school to the championship. Brothers, what are you waiting for? Let's fight him together, Suhu shouted and pounced on Guopai. Eagle Clawed, you really don't know how to cherish it. Since you're Wu Xiu's people, why do you have to participate in the lives of ordinary people? Guopai shook his head. The moment Suhu grabbed Guopai's hand, Guopai turned sideways and clasped Suhu's fingers with lightning speed. Pa! 3 fingers on Suhu's right hand were broken at the same time, and a heart-wrenching pain came from his fingers. Ah, my hand. Suhu roared, go kill him. If you kill him, my Black Eagle sect will take responsibility. The remaining 7 cultivators did not even see how Guopai had attacked. They were all from different sections. In just an instant, all 7 of them fell to the ground at the same time. Each of them clutched their waist or neck, unable to move. Guopai, I want you dead. Suhu's eyes widened. He did not expect Guopai to be so powerful. At this time, he could not hold it in anymore. A gun appeared in his hand out of nowhere, and he aimed it directly at Guopai's head. Ah, get out of the way, he has a gun. Someone in the crowd shouted, and suddenly, the entire martial arts arena was in chaos. Brother bad guy, be careful. Before the voices of the girls not far away faded, Suhu's gun was already fired. Bang, bang, bang. 3 consecutive shots. At such a close distance, Tang Shi and Sun Ling Ling ran toward the arena like crazy. Su Yi was completely stunned, and Muron Weiwei sat on the ground, paralyzed. Since you want to kill me, then die. A bullet flew out from Guopai's hand and directly pierced through Suhu's head. He couldn't be more dead. Brother bad guy, are you okay? Tang, she shouted, her face full of tears. Ling Ling, take care of them. I'm fine, Guopai said with a smile. Then, he took out his phone and dialed a number. Father-in-law, something happened at the school. Someone died. He's from the Black Hawk sect. Please think of a way to deal with it. I'll leave with Weiwei first. After Guopai finished speaking, he led the girls out of the martial arts arena. Suhu is dead. Guopai killed someone. Qin Yulong murmured in the distance. Guopai killed someone. He's a murderer. He will be sentenced. He can't participate in the competition. Idiot, do you know what legitimate self-defense is? Even if no one says anything, I will testify for bad guy. This is legitimate self-defense. Lu Chuang appeared behind Qin Yulong out of nowhere. Qin Yulong, our matter is not over yet. Take it slow. After speaking, Lu Chuang also walked out of the martial arts arena. What? You said Guo Pai caught the bullet with his hand? After Lu Chuang walked out of the martial arts arena, he directly dialed a military line and whispered into the phone. If Brother Yao is a soldier king and has the potential to reach the Xiantian realm, then he's probably already a Xiantian master. In a one-on-one fight, even Tenemy can't beat him. If it's a life-and-death battle, I have no ability to resist. Could this Guo Pai be a member of the special ability group? The person on the other end of the phone continued to ask. I don't know. If you want to know, check it out yourself. After speaking, Lu Chuang didn't give the person on the other end of the phone a chance to speak again and directly hung up the phone. Brat, how dare you hang up on your grandfather's phone? I don't know how my bastard son taught him. On the other side of the phone, an old man with the rank of lieutenant general laughed and scolded. I killed someone. Guo Pai looked at the few people who were still in shock and said with a smile, I didn't want to kill him, but he wanted to kill me. So be it. What's there to talk about? Ewer was the calmest and said with a smile, I've already contacted my dad. This matter will be suppressed. You don't have to worry about it. Sun Ling Ling said softly, I'll call Grandpa. He'll take care of the Black Hawk sect. Yu said softly, Don't worry. I've already called Wei Wei's father. The Murong family will take care of these things. Guo Pai said softly, Do you think I'm cruel? That person deserves to die. He took out a gun and wanted to kill you first. Tang Shi and Su Yi said loudly. Guan naughtily laughed. He laughed very happily. What could make him happier than having his own woman understand him? Haha, let's go eat. After this trip, I'm really hungry. Guo Pai smiled and walked to the cafeteria with the 5 beauties. Guo Pai, are you okay? I just heard from a classmate that you were shot by a few students from another school in the ring. Are you okay? Lin Shuang said nervously on the other side of the phone. Thank you for your concern, Teacher Lin. I'm fine. Come to the cafeteria and eat with me. Looking at the beauties eating can help me calm down. Guo Pai said with a smile. That's good. I'll be there in a moment. After that, Lin Shuang hung up the phone. She didn't know why she agreed to Guo Pai's request and walked towards the cafeteria. The matter is settled. Elder Xiao from the Black Hawk sect will come forward. Morong Gu said with a smile, If you have supernatural abilities, take some time to go to the supernatural ability group. I know people there. Thank you for your concern, father-in-law. I don't think the innate stage is considered a supernatural ability. Ha! Guo Pai hung up the phone with a smile. Chapter 71. Brother Bad Guy. Come quickly. We're all waiting for you. At 8:00 in the morning, the entrance of Takashi University's affiliated high school was filled with students. At 9 o'clock today, the Wu Castle City Auditorium would hold this year's competition. 6 of the 7 contestants from the affiliated high school had arrived, and only Guo Pai was still sleeping soundly. Isn't it starting at 9 o'clock? What time is it now? Guo Pai said lazily. Yesterday, he had asked Ewer to try to open the Laojun Gore together. In the end, Ewer was almost beaten back to her original form by the gourd, and Guo Pai was injured again. It's already past 8 o'clock. We'll all go eat breakfast together later. We have to be at the auditorium at 9 o'clock, so get up quickly. Tang, she said loudly. Okay, I'll be there in about 10 minutes. Guo Pai yawned and slowly got up. He looked at the Laojun gourd again and shook his head helplessly. Ewer will probably wake up this afternoon. Whatever. Let's go settle this competition first. Guo Pai took out the custom-made Armani suit from the closet. He couldn't wear too shabby for the competition. Guo Pai, I'm warning you for the last time. This competition is a collective activity of our affiliated high school, and everyone is required to be at the school gate at 8 o'clock. You're the only one who hasn't arrived. You've wasted everyone's time, so I hope you'll pay more attention in the future. Li Xuanyu said angrily as he looked at his watch. It was already 8:20. Don't be angry, Grandpa. I was too tired from yesterday's events. This time, it's my fault. Guo Pai said with a smile. Let's go quickly. We'll really be late if you scold me any longer. This time, Our opponent isn't any school, but the 7-School Alliance. I believe you're all ready. You're the most outstanding batch of students from the affiliated high school in the past few years. I hope you can make history. Li Xuanyu said loudly to the 7 teenagers in the car. Li Xuanyu's words made everyone's blood boil. Of course, this didn't include Guopai. Old Chow, we agreed that each of the 7 schools would send one person. Now you suddenly want 2 spots. This doesn't make sense. Although the overall strength of our schools is inferior to 9th high schools, when it comes to the number 1 in each school, there's not much of a difference, Sunshine High School's principal, Su Wui, said to Chao Xinglong. Old Su, do you think we can beat affiliated high school and Li Xuanyu with just the first place of our 7 schools? Chao Xinglong took a sip of tea and said with a smile. Although the 7 schools have been training together this month, and we have selected 7 contestants through internal selection, we don't even have a 10% chance of winning against Fuzhong High School. Old Chow, if you want to change people, then change Lin Xiao from 9th High School. Why are you still discussing with us? 7 High School's principal, Zhang Zhengcheng, said with a smile. No, the 2 of them must participate at the same time. Otherwise, this person won't be representing the 7-School Alliance. Chao Xinglong shook his head and said, Xinglong, who is this person you're talking about? You should at least let us meet him first. If we give up a spot just because you said so, it's unfair to the other schools and the students who have already been selected. First High School's principal, Yin Gang, said with a smile. There's still 30 minutes. Have the contestant who is studying come here. I'll call him over. As he spoke, Chao Xinglong walked out of the lounge. Xiao Tian, come here for a bit. Xiao Xiao can also come with you. Chao Xinglong said to an outrageously handsome youth with a smile. Come, let's go together. The youth nodded lightly. He held Lin Xiao's hand and intimately followed Chao Xinglong into the lounge. 9th High School's freshman, Xiao Tian. Chao Xinglong pointed at the youth and said with a smile, I thought it was an awesome person who was 8 feet tall and had a waist of 8 feet with 3 legs. Turns out it's just a pretty boy. Sunshine High School's Xiao Mu looked at Xiao Tian and said with a smile, Xiao, boys who are too handsome are unreliable. You might as well find me instead of this pretty boy. I'll definitely treat you wholeheartedly, huh? First High School's AQ said with a smile. Although I don't get along with Xiao Mu and AQ, I'm sure they're right this time. 7th High School's Li Ao said with a smirk. Principal, are these people the contestants who will be participating in the main competition with me? No wonder you're worried that you won't be able to beat affiliated high school. It's really sad to pick the tallest among the shorties and the treasure among the trash, Xiao Tian said with a shake of his head. There's not much time. We haven't agreed to Old Chow's request. If you want to represent the 7-School Alliance in the main competition this time, then show us some real skills. Yin Gang said with a smile. These are the questions from the Golden Question Bank. Give me 10 minutes. If you think I can participate in the main competition, then I'll participate. If you think I can't, then I'll turn around and leave. I can't stay in Wu Castle for too long anyway. After Xiao Tian finished speaking, he sat down beside a laptop, his fingers rapidly tapping on the keyboard. Time's up. You're typing so fast. You must have trained in a dance troupe, haha. Before Xiao Mu's laughter ended, the principals behind him all widened their eyes. 10 minutes, 103 questions, and only 1 mistake. This kind of ability was not inferior to Guopai's. I can also tell everyone that I'm proficient in 12 foreign languages and a red-clothed student of the Capricorn Palace of the 12 Mensa Palaces. Xiao Tian said with a smile. When the principals heard about the 12 Mensa Palaces, no one could raise any objections. Only people on Earth with an IQ of more than 180 could enter the 12 Mensa Palaces. Once you entered, it meant that you were already standing at the pinnacle of human intelligence. Lu Bing, give your spot to student Xiao Tian in the literary competition this time. He's indeed stronger than you. Number 37 High School's principal, Lu Qingsong, said with a smile. Lu Bing nodded lightly and directly took off the competition card hanging around his neck and handed it to Xiao Tian. Thank you, brother. After the competition ends, if you want, you can follow me to the imperial capital. I'll apply for a full scholarship for Yinjing University's affiliated high school. If your performance is outstanding, I'll recommend you to become an outer member of Mensa, Xiao Tian said with a smile as he accepted the competition card. The principals of the 7 schools widened their eyes. In reality, when they learned that this youth was called Xiao Tian, they had already guessed that he might be a member of the ancient Xiao family in the imperial capital. However, they did not expect him to be able to give such a guarantee. This proved that his position in the Xiao family was not low. Then I'll thank Brother Xiao first, Liu Bing said with a smile. Although Wu Castle was not bad, it was still far from the imperial capital. If he could enter Yinjing University's affiliated high school, then his future path would be much wider than before. I'm already a contestant in the competition, so I don't want the 5 of you to help me too much. When the time comes, just don't give me any trouble. Answer the questions you know, and don't force yourself if you don't know, Xiao Tian said with a smile as he looked at Xiao Mu, Liao, and the other 4. Let's go. It's about time to enter the arena. Let me see what kind of person this Wu Castle Guopai Xiao Xiao was talking about is. He actually needed 7 schools to team up to deal with him. As Xiao Tian said this, he pulled Lin Xiao Xiao toward the contestant passageway. Chapter 72. Xiao Tian, the contestants from affiliated high are over there. In the contestant passageway, the 7-school alliance and affiliated high met. The one leading is Guopai. Xiao Tian asked with a smile. I thought he was some kind of freak, but he's just so. Bad guy. The 7-school alliance has changed members. I don't know the guy leading them. He's not on the official list, Qian Duo whispered to Bad Guy. It's the same no matter who comes. Bad Guy is going to take the first place in the literary battle. How shameful would that be if someone else took it away? Guopai said with a smile. Guopai, I'm Xiao Tian. See you in the main competition. Xiao Tian looked at Guopai and said when the 2 teams walked together, I hope you can create some suspense in the competition. Guopai led the 6 people behind him to affiliated high square formation. Big brother Bad Guy. That person has superpowers. I'm very uncomfortable, but I don't know what he has. We have to be careful. Nangong Lingmao whispered not long after they walked away. Don't worry, little girl. Nothing will happen. Guopai rubbed Nangong Lingmao's head and said with a smile. That Guopai is nothing to be afraid of, but the little girl behind him is a tough nut to crack. Don't you know that the little girl is a member of Hua Xia's superpower team? Xiao Tian asked the people behind him. Student Xiao, have you read too many novels? How could there be superpower people? If there were, why would she go to school? A student from 92 High said with a smile. Cough, cough, cough. Impudent, put me down. Before the student from number 92 High School could finish his sentence, Xiao Tian glanced at him, and the boy shouted again. Don't speak if you don't understand. Xiao Tian looked at the youth from 92 High with contempt and continued walking to the contestant area. Shiyong, what happened to you just now? Qiao Mu, who was standing next to Shiyong, asked quietly. Superpowers. Xiao Tian has superpowers. Just now, he only glanced at me, and I suddenly felt like someone was choking me. I couldn't breathe. It's too scary, Shiyong muttered. No wonder Principal Chao strongly recommended him to participate in the formal competition. This time, the affiliated high school's plan is ruined. Ha! As long as the affiliated high school doesn't take first place, anything is fine, Xiao Mu said with a smile. The Wu Castle Convention and Exhibition Center, which was the largest auditorium in Wu Castle, could accommodate nearly 30,000 people. Tickets have been sold out a week ago, and all the proceeds have been donated to the Red Cross. In just one day, all 30,000 tickets have been sold out. Since 4 o'clock in the morning, people had started to enter the auditorium one after another. At 8:55, the contestants took their places, and the audience burst into thunderous applause. Old Wang, why are you here? Didn't you fail to get a ticket? The 2 middle-aged men below the stage were obviously acquaintances. They greeted each other with a smile. Don't you know who I am? Isn't it just a ticket? Can stop my next-door neighbor, Old Wang. Are you kidding me? Old Wang said with a smile. Old Wang, you're really generous. You spent 4,000 yuan on a 40 yuan set card. Impressive, impressive. Old Wang had just said, "Aye," when another middle-aged man walked in. You're really generous. Haha. Old Wang next door, you spent your own money to buy a high-price ticket. Haha. Several people laughed. It's just 4,000 yuan. As long as the affiliated high school takes first place, my 10,000 yuan will turn into 10 million. Haha, for 1,000 yuan is nothing, Old Wang said proudly. The people in front of him had all placed bets on the forum, but they were all betting that Guopai would not pass the first round, as long as Old Wang was right. Old Wang, don't be so smug. If the affiliated high school doesn't take first place, your 10,000 yuan will go down the drain. I'll see how you explain it to that tigress at home, the middle-aged men beside him said with a smile. Then let's wait and see, Old Wang said with his head held high. There is no first place in literature and no second place in martial arts. Hello everyone, I'm the host of this competition, Hitai Zue. This is my partner today. Come, say hello to everyone, Hitai Zhe said with a smile as he pointed to a beauty in a miniskirt beside him. Hello everyone, I'm Han Feifei. I'm very happy to be able to host this competition. I'm very happy to be working with the titan of the hosting world, Senior Tai Zue. Facing 14 talented students, I'll try my best to ensure that I don't make any mistakes. I hope everyone can give me a round of applause. Han Feifei looked below the stage and bowed deeply, which was followed by a thunderous applause. Big brother Batty, be careful. Your eyeballs are about to fall out, Nangong Lingma said softly. From a moment Han Feifei appeared, Guopai's eyes did not leave her. Ahem, this girl is sick. She needs to be treated, Guopai said with a light cough. Batty, big Batty, Nangong Lingma said with a glare. Just now, Senior Tai Zue said that there is no first place in literature. I wonder how we will determine the winner of today's competition? Han Feifei looked at Hitai Zue and asked with a smile. Little Han, you've checkmated me with your words, Hitai Zue said with a smile. This competition is different from previous years. It's divided into 2 stages. The first stage will be a KOF competition. One person will set a question, and one person will answer it. A correct answer will earn you 1 point. There will be 1 person left, and the competition will end when the last person finishes 100 questions, Hitai Zue said with a smile. The second stage will be a competition to answer the questions. When the time comes, I'll tell everyone the rules. Hitai Zue said with a smile. Next, I'll introduce the judges below the stage. The contestants from both sides can use this time to arrange their lineups. The few people from Fuzhong looked at Guopai, and Guopai directly arranged them in order. Tang Shi, Yu Yu Yu, Zhao Xian, Qian Duo Duo, Muron Wei Wei, Nangong Lingma. You guys can follow this order. I'll be last. No objections, right? After Guopai finished speaking, the few of them nodded at the same time. I'll be last. Xiao Xiao will be 6th. You guys can arrange the rest however you like, Xiao Tian said with a smile. Let's use a warm round of applause to welcome the judges who are here today. Hitai Zue took the opportunity to introduce today's judges while the contestants were arranging themselves. Principal of Takashi University, Mr. Li Zhonghua. After Hitai Zue finished speaking, an old man in his 60s among the judges stood up and waved to the audience below the stage. Today's competition will be a KOF competition. 1 question, 1 answer. Everyone has a blind spot in their knowledge. If we make any mistakes, please point them out in time, Li Zhonghua said modestly. Miss Lin Yu, Hitai Zue continued. Hitai Zue continued. Lin Yu stood up and nodded at the spectators. She then looked at Guopao again. President of Hua Xia Literature Society, Mr. Jiang Weiman. Mr. Zheng Yu from Hua Xia History Research Institute. The best think tank team for the past 7 years. Everyone, please give them a round of applause. After Hitai Zue finished speaking, the 7 young men stood up and waved to the audience. Chapter 73. And to all the audience seated here, you are all the judges of this one battle. If you find any objections to our judges' decisions, you can raise them. Now, let us begin this one battle. Hitai Zue shouted at the end, and the audience below the stage burst into thunderous applause. Tang, she stood up with a smile. The first person sent by the Seven School Alliance was also a girl, but her looks were not as good as Tang Shi's. However, her strength was not bad. Perhaps it was because they were both girls, but the scope of their knowledge was basically the same. The two of them faced about 30 questions. Tang Shi asked again, but the girl opposite her did not answer for 30 seconds. Tang Shi successfully defeated a member of the Seven School Alliance for affiliated high school. She's so beautiful and smart. How can she let others live? After Tang Shi won, the audience burst into thunderous applause. Which three ancient buildings in Jiangnan are they? Yang Building in Hunan, Yellow Crane Building in Wuchang, and Tungwang Pavilion in Nanchang. What is the first long narrative poem in history? Peacock Flies to the Southeast. How many sentences and words are there in Peacock Flies to the Southeast? Host, I don't know how to answer this question, but if I can ask this, can I ask student Tang Shi how many times Zhuge Liang's name appeared in the Romance of the Three Kingdoms? The second student of the Seven School Alliance asked loudly. Yeah, this little girl from the affiliated high school seems to have resorted to trickery. The audience was abuzz with discussion. Peacock Flies to the Southeast is the first long narrative poem in the history of China's literature. It is also the pinnacle of the development of UFU poetry. Later generations call it, in the Ode of Mulan of the Northern dynasties, as the UFU Twin Jade Annals. Tang Shi said that this question is a bit difficult, but it is within the rules. Someone should be able to answer it. Why don't we each take a step back? As long as someone from the Seven School Alliance can say roughly how many rounds there are and how many words there are, it will be considered correct. Jiang Weimin, the president of the Hua Xiao Literature Society, said with a smile. Sure, but I hope that classmate Tang, she will also write down the answer. She can't possibly not know how to answer the question, she said. The second contestant of the Seven School Alliance wanted to say something, but was stopped by Xiao Tian with a smile. That's for sure. If Tang Shi writes the answer wrong, Tang Shi will be eliminated. Jiang Weimin said with a smile. 357 sentences, 1785 words. 357 sentences, 1785 words. Xiao Tian and Tang Shi showed their boards at the same time, and the audience applauded again. Both of you got it right. Let's continue, Han Feifei said with a smile. Student Tang Shi, please tell us what the Sanzang of Buddhism refers to. The second contestant of the Seven School Alliance asked loudly. I don't know how to answer this question, Tang Shi said with a smile. Please tell me the answer. They always say that the fundamental doctrine is the scripture, the recitation of the precepts is the law, and the elaboration of the doctrine is the theory. If you can understand Sanzang, you are called Master Sanzang, Wang Ming said with a smile. The answer is correct. Someone from the 7th When Fights top think tank among the judges stood up and said with a smile, Thank you, Tang Shi and Wang Ming, for bringing us such a wonderful battle. Tang Shi has been eliminated. Please send the second contestant from affiliated high, Han Feifei said with a smile. You can do it. You stood up with a smile. Cheers could be heard from below the stage. I didn't expect there to be so many beauties in the affiliated high school. If I had known, I would have gone to the affiliated high school. You is even more elegant than Lin Xiao Xiao. Xiao Tian thought to himself, and that Murong Weiwei, she actually has such a beauty. Her looks can be ranked in the top 3 in the affiliated high school of Yin University. After about 7 minutes, Yu defeated Wang Ming. The Seven School Alliance sent out their third contestant, the big fatty from number 1 high, Q. Beauty, it's fate that we're able to meet in this competition. How about we make an extra bet? If I accidentally eliminate Beauty and win Beauty Yu, can we have a meal together after the competition? Q looked at Yu lecherously as he spoke. If you lose and run out of here naked, I can also agree to your request. Yu said as she looked at Q. Then forget it. I don't want to be like your affiliated high school's Qin Yulong. Q whispered. As his voice fell, Qin Yulong, who was in the corner, fiercely pulled down the brim of his hat. Q's strength was not bad. The two of them finished 70 questions before Yu was defeated. Zhao Xian, take down that damn fatty. I'm so angry. Yu sat down angrily. What was the 13 scriptures? Yu had answered 12 of them. The most hateful thing was that damn fatty, Q, who said with a smile when Yu was defeated that he could only answer about 10 of them correctly. However, he happened to know the one that Yu didn't answer correctly. Zhao Xian made the affiliated high school students go crazy again. He easily defeated Q and used 4 questions to defeat the 4th contestant of the 7-school alliance. Xiao Mu from Sunshine High School had already finished nearly 100 questions with Li Ao from number 7 high school. This Zhao Xian is really amazing. He didn't show his talent in the affiliated high school before. I didn't expect him to be so amazing. Some of the affiliated high school students in the audience had even stood up. It was too intense. Duo, get ready. Zhao Xian is going to lose. Qian Duo, who had been listless, was suddenly startled because Guo Pai's voice rang in his ears. You just need to symbolically take down Li Ao. Don't show off too much. Qian Duo turned his head to look at Guo Pai. Guo Pai revealed an unfathomable smile. I admit defeat. After answering the 100th question, Zhao Xian finished speaking with a smile and sat down on the stool. He clearly has the ability to fight again. Why did he admit defeat? Li Ao looked at Zhao Xian, who was sitting in his seat, and did not feel any satisfaction from winning. Li Ao, nickname Computer. Interesting. Qian Duo stood up and said with a smile, Your opponent is me. Come. Qian Duo's performance caused the audience to enter a frenzy again. No one would have thought that an average-looking youth, who looked a bit wretched at first glance, would be so knowledgeable. I know who he is. He also participated in last year's literary competition. He's that wretched guy from last year. Someone in the crowd suddenly recognized Qian Duo. This name was indeed too easy to remember. However, the two people's appearances had changed a lot. No wonder many people felt that this listless student was so familiar. Let's talk about the 3 graves and 5 classics. Qian Duo looked at Li Ao and said with a smile. The two of them had already fought over 20 questions in a row on modern history. Qian Duo suddenly said with a smile. The 3 graves only refer to Fuxi, Shenong, Huangdi. I can't answer the 5 classics. I'll have to trouble student Qian Duo to tell me the answer. Li Ao said softly. He had lost. This wretched youth in front of him had led him into a pit. First, it was a modern attack. Then, it suddenly turned around and came up with such a question. His train of thought had fallen into a blind spot. Chapter 74. Qian Duo, I saw you off stage last year. I didn't expect to see you on stage this time. The 6th member of the 7-school team, Lin Xiao, stood up and said to Qian Duo with a smile. 9th High School's campus bell is really pretty. Do you need Brother Duo to take care of you? Qian Duo said wretchedly. Brother Duo dares to go easy on a big competition like the one battle? Lin Xiao asked softly. If Xiao agrees to have a meal with me after the competition, I will forfeit this round. Qian Duo said with a smile. Brother Duo, are you kidding? If you really dare to do that, I will have a meal with you after the competition. Lin Xiao said with a smile. God Tai Zue, Beauty Han, I forfeit. Xiao, after the competition, don't forget what you said. I will order a meal online later, haha. Qian Duo said loudly on stage as soon as Lin Xiao finished speaking. After he finished speaking, he looked at the shocked Lin Xiao with a smile. Qian Duo, this is the one battle. Are you sure you want to forfeit? Han Fei asked in disbelief after hearing Qian Duo's words. In the auditorium of 30,000 people, everyone looked at Qian Duo as if they were looking at a monster. Beauty Han, can I forfeit? Qian Duo asked with a smile. A man means what he says. If he forfeits, he forfeits. Bastard, just you wait. If affiliated high school loses, I will teach you a lesson. Forfeit you actually forfeited in the one battle. When Li Xuanyu heard Qian Duoduo say forfeit, he directly spat out the mouthful of water he had just swallowed and sprayed it on Chao Xinglong's head. Surprisingly, Chao Xinglong was not angry. Instead, he was pleasantly surprised. Affiliated high schools, Qian Duoduo forfeits. Please send the next contestant. Hitai Zue said loudly with a smile. Brother Duoduo, I see that you have a good constitution. I wonder if you're interested in hosting. If you are, you can come find me after the one battle. Haha. Muron Weiwei. Muron Weiwei. Muron Weiwei. Muron Weiwei had just stood up when there was a thunderous shout from below the stage. First place in the martial arts competition, Wu Castle's darling Muron Weiwei. Weiwei, defeat Lin Xiaoxiao and forfeit. Before the competition started, Guo Pao's voice rang in Muron Weiwei's ears. Muron Weiwei was stunned. She glanced at Guo Pao, and Guo Pao nodded gently. Xiao, Xiao. Weiwei said with Xiao. Xiao. What do you mean? Please tell me the answer, Weiwei. I can't answer this question, Lin Xiaoxiao whispered. The question was a little off topic. She knew some of the answers, but she couldn't answer all of them correctly. The 5 flowers refer to the golden chrysanthemum, the flower girl kapok, the Dr. Daffodil who treats people on the street, the singing girl spicy flower in the restaurant, the acrobatic earth bull flower, and some porters. The 8 gates refer to the scarf, the skin of fortune-telling and divination, the colorful flower that sells herbs, the magic trick, the Jianghu performer, the group that tells stories and comments on the piano, the cave that sings on the street, the chatter that builds fluffy paper, and the stage that sings opera. I admit it, Weiwei said with a smile. I think the 7-school alliance is going to lose the first round. There are still 2 people from Fuzhong who haven't appeared yet. The alliance only has that handsome guy. When Han Feifei announced Lin Xiaoxiao's elimination, there was a lot of discussion below the stage. Not necessarily. The first round will be KLF. Maybe that handsome guy will be able to beat all 3 of them. A teenager whispered, yeah, that Xiao Tian is the last. He must have some ability. The crowd started to discuss. Don't forget about that Guo Pai from Fuzhong. He's also a demon. There's also that little girl called Nangong Lingma. She's definitely strong. This Muron Weiwei can't be underestimated either. A middle-aged man said with a smile, it's really exciting. This year's competition will be unprecedented. Someone in the crowd sighed. Sister Feifei, I forfeit. Just as Xiao Tian stood up, Muron Weiwei picked up the microphone and said with a smile, What? What did Nangong Weiwei say? He forfeited. Did I hear wrongly? Hit me. A student from Fuzhong said loudly. Slap. A teenager next to him slapped him in the face. Do you want another round? Want your sister? Muron Weiwei has already sat down. The student said loudly while covering his face. Li Xuanyu couldn't sit still anymore. He stood up and stared at the few people from Fuzhong on the stage. Li Xuanyu would believe it if Qian Duoduo gave up because he wanted to pick up girls. However, Li Xuanyu was confused as to why Muron Weiwei gave up. Old Li, your students are very confident. Chao Xinglong couldn't help but laugh. According to Xiao Tian's strength, he definitely had the ability to beat 2 people. Haha, old Chao, Old Li is showing his style. Don't laugh, haha. Su Wu Yi said with a laugh. I forfeit. Nangong Lingma was even more direct. He didn't answer a single question and directly chose to forfeit. After he finished speaking, he sat down on the stool. This time, the entire auditorium was in an uproar. Muron Weiwei had more or less defeated 1 person before she chose to forfeit. Why did Nangong Lingma forfeit? Everyone was stunned. Li Xuanyu sat down on the stool. He was more or less worried about Guo Pai. After Muron Weiwei forfeited, he didn't feel much pressure. But now that Nangong Lingma had also forfeited, Li Xuanyu was afraid. Haha, I know what's going on. He wants to give Bad Bro a chance to show up. Otherwise, if Beauty Weiwei directly takes care of the 7-school alliance, Principal Li probably doesn't want to embarrass the principals of the other schools. A sophomore from affiliated high school said with a smile. What if Guo Pai loses? If Guopai loses and Xiahou Tian answers another 100 questions correctly, he will be leading by 100 points. By then, Fu Zhong will be in danger. Another student from Fu Zhong said with a hint of nervousness, "Brother Eyes, how can bad guy lose? He is a god-level character who can date so many beauties in our school at the same time. He won't lose, haha." The student from before said with a laugh, "Brother Bad Guy, you have to win. If you lose, Principal Li will scold us to death." Nangong Lingma whispered to Guopai, "But you asked me to forfeit. I trust you so much, you can't lie to me." "Babe, Guopao stood up. Before he could finish his sentence, he was interrupted by a voice. "Brat, if you dare to forfeit, just you wait." Li Xiuanyu shouted. The auditorium was silent again. "Old man, I just want to say that I want to drink a glass of water before we start. Can't I?" Guopai looked at the flustered Li Xiuanyu and replied loudly. Suddenly, the auditorium was filled with laughter again. Chapter 75. Guopai, you're the one who made them forfeit, aren't you? You have guts and courage. I like it. Ha! Xiao Tian looked at Guopai, who was slowly standing up, and laughed. Dream Realm, impressive. If I didn't make them forfeit, I'm afraid you would find a way to make them forfeit. Guopai narrowed his eyes. When he entered the venue and met Xiao Tian, Guopai used mind reading on Xiao Tian. Xiao Tian immediately broke out in a cold sweat. This young man could actually control the Dream Realm. Wasn't that the same as the Dream Realm? Back then, even the great sage suffered a loss. You actually know my ability. Who are you? Xiao Tian looked around. The people around him couldn't hear Guopai's words. He became nervous and squinted his eyes at Guopai. I'm just a student from the high school affiliated to Renmin University of China. What's the matter? You want to use the Dream Realm on me? You could try. I also want to see what your ability is like, Guopai said with a smile. Wu Castle's when duel doesn't require my ability to win against you. Although I don't know what your ability is, do you dare to have a fair fight with me? Xiao Tian asked with a smile. Of course, a fair fight is what I want. However, if you want to use your ability, I won't stop you. After Guopai finished speaking, Xiao Tian felt a chill. He suddenly heard someone call his name. Xiao Tian, do you also need a glass of water? If not, can you start your competition now? Han Feifei looked at Xiao Tian and asked with a smile. Let's start. Guopai, you can ask your questions now. Xiao Tian stared at Guopai and said loudly. He knew that Guopai must have done something. China's 4 great library pavilions. State their locations and names. Beijing's Wenyuan Pavilion, Shenyang's Wensu Pavilion, Chengde's Wenjin Pavilion, and Hangzhou's Wenlan Pavilion. Who are the 7 sages of the bamboo grove? Jikong, Ruanji, Shantao, Xiangxiu, Ruanxian, Wang Rong, and Lu Ling. What are the 8 parts of the 8-part essay? Solving the question, accepting the question, starting the lecture, starting the stock, middle stock, back stock, and binding stock. Who are the 8 freaks of Yangzhou? Wang Shishen, Li Il, Jin Nong, Huang Shun, Gao Xiang, Zheng Xie, Luo Pin. What are the top 10 classical tragedies in China? Do Ease Injustice, The Orphan of Zhao, The Banner of Loyalty, The Record of Loyalty, The Peach Blossom Fan, The Autumn of the Han Palace, The Tale of the Pipa, The Tale of Tinder and Red, The Palace of Longevity, and Leifeng Pagoda. Since you came up with a tragedy, then let me ask classmate Xiao Tian, which 10 classical comedies are there? Saving the Wind and Dust, Jade Hairpin, Romance of the Western Chamber, The Money Slave, The Horse on the Wall, Li Kuei Carries Thorns, The Wolf of the Mountain, Kite Mistake. Professor Guopai, please talk about the 12 tones. Huangzhong, Delu, Taizhua, Jiaozhong, Gushizhong Lulibin, Linzhong, Izainan Lu, Wuxing Zhong. Xiao Tian, what are the 10 unpardonable evils? Guopai's question had a double meaning. Guopai, Xiao Tian stared at Guopai, then took a deep breath and said with a smile, Guopai, the 10 unpardonable evils refer to rebellion, great rebellion, rebellion, evil rebellion, great disrespect, unfilial piety, disharmony, injustice, and civil strife. The two of them asked and answered questions as if they were the only two people in the auditorium. They were like two fighters not giving in to each other. The judges below the stage frowned. They were trying their best to judge the answers of the two. Some of them even began to hope that one of them would answer a question wrongly, so that this tug-of-war would end quickly. Guopai, Xiao Tian, do you need to take a break? When the two of them answered about 380 questions correctly, Han Feifei asked softly. No need, Guopai and Xiao Tian said at the same time. The two of them continued to ask and answer questions. How many questions are there? Someone below the stage suddenly asked softly. I don't know. The two of them should have answered more than 1,000 questions. Someone beside him replied softly. Are there any duplicate questions? An old man asked. There shouldn't be any. The judges have already connected the live video feed to the artificial intelligence system of Yinjing University's Research Institute. If there are duplicate questions, the artificial intelligence system will directly feed the information back to the audience. A middle-aged man in a suit in the front row said softly. Guopai, this word game is boring. Why don't I put a question on the whiteboard and you can calculate it? Xiao Tian said with a smile. What do you want? I'll accompany you to the end, Guopai said with a smile. The moment Xiao Tian showed the whiteboard, a white-haired old man suddenly stood up and said, The two of you wait a moment. Elder Liu, is there a problem with this question? Hitai Zue walked quickly in front of the old man and asked with a smile. The old man who spoke was none other than the dean of Takashi University's Institute of Technology, the academician of Huaxia Academy, and the leading figure of Huaxia's mathematics field, Mr. Liu Yongsun. Young man, if you write this question on the whiteboard, can you figure out yourself? Liu Yongsun looked at Xiao Tian and asked with a smile. Elder Liu, this junior has already solved this question a month ago. The 12 Mensa palaces have already confirmed that the answer is correct, Xiao Tian said with a smile. Guopai looked at the math question on the whiteboard and smiled slightly. He thought it would be a difficult question, but it was just SOSO. In fact, when Xiao Tian raised the whiteboard, everyone, including the judges, broke out in a cold sweat. Difficult, too difficult. This question couldn't be solved in a short period of time. Old Li, wipe your sweat. Isn't it just a math question? You have to believe in your student. Wipe your sweat, wipe your sweat. Chao Xinglong handed Li Xuanyu a tissue and said with a smile. At this time, the principals of the Seven School Alliance looked at each other and all laughed. Young man, after the literary competition is over, if you have time, you can come to Takashi University to find me. After saying that, Liu Yongsun smiled and sat in his seat. Student Guopai, after the judge's decision, you can be given an hour to solve this question. You can also give student Xiao Tian a question now. If neither of you can answer the other's question or answer the other's question correctly, then the first round of the competition will be considered a draw. If only one of you can answer the other's question correctly, then the other's question will be considered the winner, and you can challenge our quick ask and quick answer 100 questions, Han Feifei said with a smile as she looked at the two of them. Since student Xiao Tian has given me a math question, then help me solve this question. After saying that, Guopai quickly wrote on the whiteboard. Young man, are you sure you have the answer to this question? Liu Yongsun, who had just sat down, stood up again with a face full of disbelief. Since I can write the question, I naturally have the answer. Xiao Tian, my question is not bad, right? Guopai said with a smile. I can't answer your question, and you can't answer mine. Let's call a draw. Xiao Tian looked at the question Guopai wrote. It was fine. He could come up with an idea if he spent some time, but if he wanted to answer this question in an hour, it would be a fool's dream. Since student Xiao Tian can't answer my question, then, before Guopai could finish speaking, the judges nodded in unison. The competition between the two monsters had finally come to an end. I'll tell everyone the answer to your question first. Chapter 76. That's impossible. Xiao Tian, who had already sat down, suddenly stood up and said loudly, "Nothing is impossible. Isn't it just an extension of the foundation of Fermat's last theorem that you mentioned?" Guopai said as he picked up a pen and quickly wrote on the answer board. Actually, he had only seen Fermat's last theorem in the library. However, this question was nothing to an immortal who had lived for tens of thousands of years. "You should know this answer. I can also calculate the second answer for you," Guopai said as he picked up the second answer board and wrote again. "Elder Lu, please check if I wrote it correctly," Guopai said with a smile to Lu Yong's son, who was trembling all over. "Genius, a genius in mathematics. Little you, don't go to high school. Come to Takashi University directly. I will take you in as my closed-door disciple." "No, I want to be able to discuss mathematics with you in my lifetime," Lu Yong-san said excitedly. "Elder Lu, please check if it's correct," Guopai said with a smile as he closed his eyes and sat down. "How did you think of the second answer? Tell me, please tell me," Lu Yong-san said excitedly after reading the second answer. "After the competition ends, I will visit Elder Lu. If the answer is correct, please announce it," Guopai comforted Lu Yong-san and said with a smile. "The answer is correct. Guopai, Little Yu's answer is completely correct. Just from his second answer, Guopai, Little Yu's mathematics knowledge has far exceeded your imagination," Lu Yong-san said loudly into the microphone. "Xiao Tian, do you have any objections?" Han Feifei asked Xiao Tian, who was unwilling to accept the result. "No objections. We have lost the first round," Xiao Tian said as he looked at Guopai with narrowed eyes. "Right now, both sides have a total of 1630 points. Next, student Guopai will be answering 100 questions of our quick challenge. Everyone, let's give him a round of applause." Hitai Zue announced loudly. "Student Guopai, please listen to the question," Han Feifei said with a smile as she looked at Guopai, who had shocked everyone. All the questions seemed to have been discussed between Guopai and Han Feifei. As soon as Han Feifei finished speaking, Guopai had already given the answer. "Teacher Tai Zue, you can't just watch me die, right? I'm almost out of breath from all the reading." Guopai answered 50 questions in a row. Han Feifei took a deep breath and said to Hitai Zue with a smile, "Haha, I saw that the two of you cooperated well, so I didn't have the heart to disturb you. Since you are tired, leave the remaining 50 questions to me. I hope that student Guopai makes a single mistake and I can call it a day," Hitai said with a smile. In less than 10 minutes, Guopai finished the remaining 50 questions. He answered 49 questions correctly, but he got the last question wrong. "The distance between the moon and the earth, student Guopai, please answer." Hitai Zue held his last breath and finished the last question. "The moon palace and the earth are not even in the same dimension. How can there be a concept of distance? There is a problem with this question," Guopai said loudly. He had heard the moon as the moon palace. "Haha, out of 100 questions, student Guopai answered 99 questions correctly. I didn't think that student Guopai was also involved in online literature," Hitai Zue said with a smile. The first round of the competition has ended. Affiliated High School leads the 7-School Alliance team by 99 points. We will now rest for 5 minutes. "Big brother scoundrel, what do you mean not in the same dimension? You're in the limelight. I didn't even get a single question correct," Nangong Lingma said with a pout. "When the one battle is over, I will help you double your telekinesis ability. How about it? Don't talk anymore. In the second round, try not to have any friction with that Xiahou Tian. Otherwise, I won't be able to save you," Guopai said telepathically. "The dream realm. Interesting. Could it be that this Xiahou Tian was the descendant of that dream demon?" 5 minutes passed. Everyone on and off the stage had different expressions. Li Xuanyu's face was radiant. The 7 principals of the 7-School Alliance team no longer had a trace of a smile on their faces. According to the strength that Guopai had shown, the first place in this one battle was already 90% in the pocket of affiliated high school. "No, I can't give up like this. I can't feel the fluctuations of that Guopai's ability. Although he can transmit telepathically, he is not necessarily a metahuman. It is very likely that he is only highly skilled in martial arts. I will bring him into my dream realm later. I want him dead. Xiahou Tian looked at Guopai, who was joking with Murong Wei Wei, and the murderous intent in his heart could no longer be suppressed. It's over. Affiliated High School is going to win this time. 100 billion. Even if we sell off all of the Qin family's assets, we still won't have that much money. Qin Yulong thought to himself, like a walking corpse. Qin Batian, it's too late to cut ties with that good son of yours. You should pray that Affiliated High School won't win the one battle. If they win, you have to fulfill all of your bets. Otherwise, Wu Castle, or even the entire Huaxia, will no longer have your Qin family's bloodline. The Murong family contacted the Liu family of Wu Castle and went to the Qin family together. If it was just the Murong family alone pressuring the Qin family, with one of their main forces in the capital and the other in Wu Castle, the Qin family might still have some hope. However, the Liu family who came together represented the military strength of Wu Castle. Since they also came, it meant that they wanted to exterminate the Qin family. Qin Batian, really gave birth to a good son. It's fine if he went to assassinate that Guopai, but why did he have to provoke the Liu family? Qin Batian waited for the Murong family and the Qin family to leave before he faced the ranking of ancestors alone. 140 billion. Wu Castle will no longer have the Qin family. 5 minutes is up. Let's start the second round of the competition. The second round is easier than the first. Affiliated High School and the 7-School Alliance each have 7 questions. The corresponding points are different and the difficulty is different. Everyone has 1 question. You can answer it yourself or let the other party answer it. If you answer it correctly, you'll get the corresponding points. If you answer it incorrectly, the corresponding points will be deducted. Hitai said with a smile. If you let the other party answer it, your team's points will be deducted first. If the other party answers it correctly, the other party will get extra points. If the other party answers it incorrectly, the other party's points will be deducted twice. Han Feifei said with a smile. Brother Tian, the questions are worth 100 to 700 points. These questions are not too difficult. We will lose for sure. Lin Xiao said dejectedly. Lose? How can we lose? I Xiao Tian don't know what it means to lose. If you can answer the questions correctly, the other party will not let you answer them. Trust me, I will turn the 7-School Alliance's defeat into victory. Xiao Tian looked at the 7 people of Affiliated High School and whispered, the questions are very easy. We can solve them all by ourselves. The people of Affiliated High School said with a smile after looking at the questions. Answer your own questions correctly. Remember, don't get into conflict with that Xiao Tian. Guopai reminded Tang Shi and the others. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.